Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Colorado Sports Connection 2024 NFL Draft coverage. I am David Slade, one of your hosts for the evening. We plan on providing you guys with coverage throughout the night. We'll be here also on Friday, and we'll be here on Saturday providing coverage as well. Joining me tonight, first and foremost, is our producer, the guy behind the scene, Graham Tika. He's a lifelong Bronco fan from up north in Canada, where it's still 20 feet of snow on the ground and 12 below zero. So,
not quite.
Graham is a lifelong Bronco fan and a former Broncos contributor for predominantly Orange, and currently is an Avalanche contributor for Mile High Sticking. So thanks for joining us tonight, Graham. We also have with us Travis Wakeman, who currently is with the Sporting News now and just recently picked up a. You want to tell about your new gig? Is that public information, Travis?
Yeah, it's public information. Just started writing, covering the Broncos. I think on Monday was my first day. I was with predominantly Orange prior to that, but took a new offer with the Sporting News and pretty excited about it.
Okay. And then you'll also be covering another team as well, or just the Broncos for now?
It's another team too. It's one Broncos fans won't like, though. I will cover the Chargers as well.
So, all right. So, hey, at least it's the Chargers, not the Chiefs or the Raiders. You know, we can always, we can laugh at the Chargers. So you guys never won anything. So we're good with that. So,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then Travis has been a fan of the Broncos since the 80s. He's been covering them since 2012 as a profession. So, pretty awesome. Thanks for joining us tonight, Travis.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate you taking
you.
the time out of your schedule. And then we have with us Eddie Keating, who has just joined up with the Colorado Sports Connection with his Rocky Mountain Blitz podcast. So we thank you for joining us, Eddie. Eddie's a diehard Bronco fan and apparently a huge Bo Nix fan as well. So let's sort of dive into that a little bit. And we'll be joined later by Matt Staffiero. He's running a little bit late. And then we got Desmond Lawrence, who will also be jumping on and providing us coverage. So we may have people coming and going most of the night, but we will provide coverage throughout the night to the end of the draft. And then, like I said, we'll cover tomorrow and then Saturday as well. So feel free to jump in and join us and send us your comments and let us know what you think about what the Broncos are going to do. Let's start with you, Travis. What do you think the Broncos' plans are? I mean, you think they're going to stay put 12? They're going to run somewhere else?
I hope they run somewhere else. I hope it's a trade down. I've been very consistent in that belief for a couple of months now. I do think that the play is to move down and acquire more picks. It's troubling to me that there's no second rounder. It's been troubling to me for a while, and I think this is such a loaded class, and I think this is a team that needs as many prospects as it can get its hands on. So that would be my move, would be to trade down and acquire a second rounder.
And I'm glad you say that, because you are somebody who thinks like me. This team is not just a quarterback away from being competitive. This team has a bunch of holes all over the roster. So grabbing more draft capital, and getting as many players in here to help rebuild this roster is vital to the Broncos' success. I also, I have one dream scenario, but I know it's not going to happen. So my dream scenario is Washington decides they don't want Jaden Daniels, and we can jump up to 3 and grab Jaden Daniels. But that would cost us a lot of picks and probably some players too. So, and probably not a position we want to get ourselves in. Staying at 12, I'm not too thrilled about it, because I don't believe in picking Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. right there, because I think that's overdrafting them. But unfortunately, there's so many quarterback-starved teams out there right now. I think we might end up in a situation where people are going to start panicking and overdrafting these quarterbacks. So, Eddie, what's your thoughts? What do you think? And I know you're a big Bo Nix guy, and what do you think the Broncos do tonight, or hope?
Well, I said this on Monday whenever they traded for Zach Wilson, is that I think, possibly they could trade down now at that point. Now that they got two quarterbacks, I still believe they take one in this draft. But honestly, I'm fine with either. Like if Sean Payton wants to trade up to get his guy, I'm fine with it. They want to stay at 12 and take a guy, or they want to trade back and take a guy, I'm fine with either. But if I had to pick what they're going to do tonight, I know you guys think, and a lot of people think it's a reach, but I think they stay at 12 and take Knicks. I know that probably is a reach. I agree with you guys on that, but I just don't see Sean Payton's not the kind of guy to trade down. He's not. He's the kind of guy to trade up, but he's not going to trade up for Bo Nix. So I think he stays at 12 and takes Knicks, unless somehow McCarthy or Drake May or one of those guys fall to like 8 or 9 somewhere. Then I think that's when we'll see a trade up.
Yeah, I think trying to jump to 3 or 4 is probably too rich for the Broncos with the lack of draft capital that we have, and it would involve us probably giving up future draft capital, which we don't want to do from 25. So I agree, maybe 8 or 9. Then you start saying, okay, is it worth drafting up? I'm not a huge JJ McCarthy guy, so I really wouldn't trade up for him anyway. So if he fell to me at 12, maybe I would think about it, but I just don't know if he really fits the Sean Payton system. So I know Travis's guy. Travis been throwing his name around, and I've liked that guy ever since he played at Oklahoma. Me and Matt used to have battles about it because Matt, used to say the guy was nothing, and he just needed to get out of that system and get to Carolina and resurrect his career, which I think he's done the last 2 years, and that's Spencer Rattler. So I would be happy with someone like him, and that would allow us, if we trade back, to get maybe another receiver or get an edge player or somebody else. But we need more talent on this team than just a quarterback to get us going. So do either of you guys see any surprises in picks? We'll just say 1 through 5. I mean, so we got the Bears, we got Washington, New England, Arizona, and then LA. I mean, do you see any craziness going there? Any trades? Do you think maybe somebody's going to trade out of there with Minnesota so Minnesota can move up and grab their quarterback? I'll start with you, Travis.
Yeah, I think the draft is pretty much going to get really interesting when the Cardinals go on the clock at number 4. I think that's the spot that teams are going to want to trade into if they want that quarterback that's still there, whether it be May or whether it be McCarthy. I think that Jim Harbaugh has been J.J. McCarthy's hype guy. I think he's talking about him like he has because he wants for a team to trade up to number 4, because if the Cardinals don't trade that pick, they're taking Marvin Harrison Jr., and I think that's who the Chargers really want. I think that's who the Chargers take if somebody trades into number 4. So that'd probably be the biggest surprise I see. I think the first 4 picks are going to be quarterbacks if there's no trades. If not, then the Cardinals are taking Harrison at 4, and the Chargers probably go with somebody like Joe Alt at tackle, or maybe they stretch it a little bit and take Brock Bowers.
Yeah. Rumors flying around about the Chargers, and then we'll get to you, Eddie, really quick on that question. I just want to ask Travis this, being that he's going to be covering the Chargers now. Rumors flying around about Jim Harbaugh may not be a Herbert fan, and maybe he's on his way out and McCarthy's on his way in. You think there's any traction to that rumor?
I don't. I don't know if you saw what Adam Schefter had to say about it yesterday, but I'm pretty much on board with Schefter's take on that. I think it's all, if there's any validity to it at all, it's just for a smokescreen for the Chargers to again make McCarthy look like he's maybe even better than he is, so somebody gets up into that 4 spot and trades for him.
Okay. All right, Eddie, what are your thoughts? Any surprises first 5 picks that you see coming?
Well, it's been one of the main ones that's been hyped up all offseason. I know the Patriots talk, we're not getting what we want for the 3rd pick, but I think that's where the Vikings trade up to, is the 3rd overall pick. and they take Drake May, and that means JJ slips. And but that's what I think. Like, I don't think the Cardinals. Like, I know they say they're open for business, but there's no way I would pass on Marvin Harrison Jr. when you have Kyler Murray who needs a weapon. So that's my surprise. The Vikings trade up to 3.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be so shocked. I see the Vikings trying to get up to either 3 or 4. Maybe even 5 if the Chargers want. If the Chargers really are just going to go Joe Alt, I mean, do you really need to grab Joe Alt at 5? Can you move down to 11? And if Joe Alt's taken by Tennessee at 7, then there's still going to be a tackle out there, Latham from Alabama, who some are saying is even better than Joe Alt anyway. So, I mean, I could see Minnesota moving up to 3, 4, or 5, depending, trying to get up there and get their quarterback. I think Drake May is probably the guy they want, being that Gannon is the OC there now, and Gannon was Drake May's high school football coach. So, I mean, they have familiarity there. So we'll see what happens if he does jump up there, or if Minnesota does jump up there and get it. So, does anybody want to wager that the Chicago Bears do not pick Caleb Williams? So, I mean, and I won't either. So I was, yeah, Eddie.
I do have one thing to say. I know there's been a lot of rumors about the Commanders not taking Jaden Daniels. So,
and that's what I'm talking about. And if that happens, if I'm Denver, do I really then say, all right, New England, I want Jaden Daniels. Here you go. Here's our 1. Here's our 2025 1, our 2025 3. We'll give you a PS2. And just for good measure, we'll throw in Zach Wilson so you have a quarterback. So, I mean, is that a little too much for you guys to spend to move up to 3 to get a Jaden Daniels type quarterback?
go ahead, Travis.
It's too much for me. I think this Broncos team, coming off of what they've come off of in recent years and what they've given up for the results they've achieved, that's why I'm not big on trading up at all. I don't think this is a team that has any business making a move like that. I think it needs to be a little bit safer approach to it. The Russell Wilson thing didn't work out. You had to trade draft picks to get a head coach. I just don't want to trade any more premium picks.
No, and that's totally understandable. And I think if the Broncos do pull off something like this, that is 100% Sean Payton, because that is not George Payton's MO. George Payton is another guy who, like Travis says, trade back, get your capital, and grab your players, so, and build up the cupboards that way, fill them up. So, but I mean, what do you think, Eddie? Is that too much to move up 3 in your opinion for a quarterback in Daniels' talent level?
I do, but here's the thing: if they trade up, Surtain's not going anywhere. As much as, like I've said in the past, that you do whatever you got to do to get the quarterback that Sean Payton wants. If he thinks it's Jaden Daniels, Drake May, or JJ McCarthy, you go up and get him. But I think they're more apt to trade like maybe Sutton and 3 first-round picks to move up that high, or just 3 first-round picks. Like, I think Payton would be more comfortable trading the picks away than he would be to trade PS2 away. Like, that's the defensive guy you're going to build the defense around. So,
yeah, I've always had the mindset, and I'll always have this mindset: cornerbacks do not win championships, quarterbacks do. And if you need to sacrifice a cornerback to get a quality quarterback, then you make that move. I mean, there's plenty of cornerbacks in this draft that I think you could get somebody else. So
I'm not saying they won't trade him. I think that's like break glass kind of an emergency. Like, if he's the piece that's going to be able to get you up to there, they'll trade him.
Yeah, I don't think that's the first thing they would go to a team and offer, say, here you go, take him. But if somebody came back and you were that close and Sean Payton wanted his quarterback, I mean, Sean Payton has no loyalty to Patrick Surtain. He was not here. He did not draft him. He's not his guy. So he may tell Payton, do it, pull the trigger, give me my quarterback. You can't win in this league without a quarterback, Yep. And if you got a chance to go get one that's a game changer, then you got to do it. But I also agree with Travis. You got to be careful, too, because this team has a lot of holes. and we need picks to fill them up, and we can't just be recklessly throwing draft picks around trying to fix this problem. So, but
That's why I think like they're not going to trade up into the top 5. If they trade up, it's going to be either May or McCarthy slips down to like 8 or 9. Then they trade up because it won't cost them as much at that point. They won't have to.
and I agree. I don't either. I think that's just sort of my dream. Like I said, I'm a LSU fan, so I love Jaden Daniels. So I got a little bit of vested interest there. So, but
now I have a question.
Yeah,
all of you guys. So we obviously know that Caleb Williams is going number 1. What sort of slide do you see the other quarterbacks? Like, how do you see that shaking out? Like, do you see any one sliding so far, like, where Denver only has to trade up to a couple spots, or is it going to be maybe like 6 or 7 still? If that makes sense. Or maybe not 6 or 7. But... What's that?
I get what you're saying.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think it's like Eddie said. I mean, I could see maybe McCarthy sliding down. I don't see Drake May sliding past 6 at the Giants. McCarthy may slide down a little bit. Maybe he's, if he slides down, though, does Tennessee decide? Yeah, we probably do need a quarterback. Tennessee. I don't see Atlanta picking a quarterback right now. I mean, they just got Kirk Cousins. I mean, there has been rumors floating around that they would love to have Penix and let him sit for a couple of years behind Cousins, but do you draft a guy at 8 and let him sit for 2 years? I mean, so I could see maybe who's at 9? Oh, the Bears are. So he's not getting picked at 9 either. And then 10 is
the Jets.
Jets aren't picking him. So, maybe he falls to Minnesota right there at 11. I mean, I've heard that Minnesota wants to get up and get him or Drake May anyway. So if Minnesota can't get to 3 and take Drake May and Drake May goes to the Giants and then McCarthy slides to 11. So, but I've seen some mock drafts where 6 quarterbacks go in the top 13. And that just shows how valuable a quarterback is and how overvalued they are when it comes to drafting. So, and we'll see how it shakes. We'll see if the Broncos panic and grab somebody at 12 when they would be better served to trade back and gather more assets and get somebody in round 2 or late round 1 if you can get down there. So we'll see how things shake out. But we got about 10 minutes, then the Bears will be on the clock. We've been waiting for this for a long time. So what else are you guys looking for the Broncos to achieve this draft? Let's start with you, Eddie. I mean, besides quarterback, we know that's the most important thing. What else are you hoping the Broncos will, achieve?
Honestly, pass rush and D-line is outside of quarterback. That's my main focus. Is they need to get either a outside linebacker or a D lineman, someone that can get after the quarterback. Like I like Baron Browning, I like Nick Benito, but they haven't really lived up to what I thought they could be. And DJ Jones, Zach Allen, they're all right, but they're not getting there all the time. And I prefer the D line to get built up. That way, you got someone that can maybe get after the quarterback and also someone that can help stop the run. Because we brought in DJ Jones for that, and he doesn't really seem to do it very well. So,
a good defensive line will help improve your secondary too. It'll make some of your guys that didn't look so great, look a little better. So, what else are you hoping for, Travis?
I would agree with what Eddie said there. I think the defensive line group is atrocious. But I would add wide receiver. I know it might not be a major position of need, but I do think they need some more help there. And I think this is a draft class that's just got some great wide receivers in it. So I would like to see another wide receiver added, and possibly even another cornerback that they can work into the secondary too. So
Right.
I would just try to get as many picks in this draft as I could is what I would be my goal.
Yeah, and I agree. I would too. Just start stockpiling picks. And get the best players available that fit an area of need. A lot of people just say, "Well, get the best player available." Well, you don't want to do that if he doesn't really serve a need on your team. At least make sure you get the best player available in the area where you got a need. Speaking of wide receiver, Cortland Sutton doesn't show up to voluntary workouts. Rumors are he wants a new contract. Do you guys see him maybe getting traded sometime this weekend? And then that really does, force Denver to pick up at least one more wide receiver in this draft. I mean, Eddie, do you see Sutton moving at all?
Well, I do have some news on a wide receiver. This isn't Broncos related, but talking about Cortland Sutton, we know he wants a new deal.
Right.
But he's not as good as AJ Brown, and AJ Brown just got a 3-year deal worth $84 million guaranteed just now.
Wow.
So Cortland Sutton, he's not as good as AJ Brown, but he's going to want a new deal, and I don't think it's going to be that much, but they have to sign him. Like,
they don't have to. I mean, he's already signed for 2 years. So, I mean, Cortland Sutton's big deal is he has no more guaranteed money left on his contract. So, his big concern is he goes out training camp and hurts himself. Broncos would just say, "Okay, we're done with you. See you later," and they owe him nothing. And I think that's his big concern. He wants some more guaranteed money out of the deal. So, I mean, we'll see where this goes. What kind of stalemate? What are your thoughts, Travis? Is he somebody that the Broncos are just going to say, you know what, we're going to use you as capital and we're going to get some draft picks for you?
One of my favorite trade down spots is at number 20 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's a spot where Cortland Sutton continues to be connected to.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Put him back with Russ. And, the Broncos could maybe get several picks from the Steelers. And if my first pick is at 12 tonight and my next pick's not till 76, if I could get something like 20 and somewhere in the 50s, plus maybe another later round pick, I'm taking that package all day if all I've got to give up is Cortland Sutton.
And I agree 100%. I mean, that's what I'm doing too. I mean, I think trading Cortland Sutton just by himself, I think you're lucky to get a fourth out of him, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe a third if somebody's really desperate, But I just don't. With how rich and deep this draft class is with wide receivers, I don't see Cortland Sutton having a lot of value just by himself.
No, so you saw what they got for Jerry Jeudy,
right? Yeah, So I think he would be more of a excuse me, he was. I think he would be more of an addition to a package to move and get some additional draft capital. So I do like that. I know it's been rumored either trading down to 20 with the Steelers. We've heard 22 with the Eagles. So the Eagles probably don't need a receiver now that they've tied up A.J. Brown. They also just tied up Smith, last week. So I don't think they would really be too interested. But I know that the Eagles may want to get up there and grab a cornerback, especially the guy out of Toledo, Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Yeah. So they may want to try to get up to 12 and grab him. So that may be another thing to look at. I've also heard the Bengals. And the Bengals might be looking for a quarterback, another wide receiver, because T. Higgins wants out apparently now. So that may be another spot that you could trade him to. Yeah, Eddie?
Maybe you could trade Sutton to get T. Higgins in here. Maybe he'll be cheaper. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Swap receivers and then swap first-round picks and pick up a second or something, maybe
Yep.
doable. So I think T. Higgins wants a pretty hefty deal. So I'm not sure exactly what is in this receiver. This receiver market seems to be going crazy right now. So I think I would be better off, at 20 picking up somebody like Brian Thomas Jr. if he's sitting there available, or the kid out of Texas, one of those kids if they're available, and have a guy on a rookie contract instead of paying one of these guys, $20-30 million a year, where the receiver market is now heading. So it's getting out of control, almost as bad as the quarterback market. So all right, I think we're almost ready. 5 more minutes, and we're ready to go. What else you guys got? Any final shots before we get going? Anything?
No, I'm just ready to get the picks
Yeah.
going here and bring all the suspense to an end.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
and
have a weird feeling someone's going to be mad.
I think we see a lot of trades tonight.
I do too. And the line now, the betting line is set at 5.5. Is it 5.5 trades, Graham? Is that what you saw? Or was it 5.5 quarterbacks in the first round? I guess Graham left
What
us.
was
So I think it was over under on quarterbacks for the first round was 5.5. So over or under, Eddie?
I'm going to say, what was it? 5 quarterbacks and what?
5.5. Yeah.
I'd say under.
Okay. Travis?
Yeah, I agree. Under.
Okay. And I'm going to go with the over. I honestly, seriously think some teams are going to overdraft some quarterbacks. I think Nix and Penix will go in the first round. So I think the Raiders are crazy enough to pick Penix at 13. So I would
agree
not
with
be
that.
surprised to see him.
That's going to make Broncos even more crazy if they take Nix at 12.
And I don't think Bo Nix is getting past the Rams at 19. I mean, the
Right.
Rams need to start looking to replace Matt Stafford. So I could see him, if he slides down that far, I don't see him going much past the Rams at 19. So
Honestly, Bo Nix, if the Broncos are at 12 and they don't trade back, Bo Nix ain't going past 12 if the Broncos are there. I strongly believe that. Like, I don't see how Sean Payton can sell Broncos country going into the season with just Jared Stidham and Zach Wilson on the roster. Like, maybe Spencer Rattler or Pratt in like the 3rd round, but
yeah,
I have a weird feeling they're going to take Nix at 12.
It's like you said, you got to trade out of 12. I mean, if you're not going to pick a quarterback there, you got to trade out of 12 and get some more assets. In other words, you're not going to have a shot at a quarterback until round 3, and then what are you going to have out there? So,
And that's
we'll
to say
see.
Pratt.
What's that?
That's also to say that like Pratt or who's the other one, Rattler, don't go in round 2. Like if people are going to start reaching for quarterbacks like Nix and Penix in the first round, people are probably going to reach for Rattler, Pratt in the 2nd round.
Yeah, I think it'll get crazy. I think once we get through these first 6, it's going to calm down a little bit. I can see Rattler going in the 2nd round. I don't know about Pratt, though. I think Pratt and Leary and guys like that are more 3rd round guys. Milton out of Tennessee, who has a huge arm, but I think he has some accuracy issues. He's not sure where he's throwing the ball or anything right now. So looks like Eddie's getting pumped up like he's ready to start. So
sorry about that, by the way. I had to step away.
What's that?
I said sorry about that. I had to step away, but I heard my name.
That's all right. I was just asking you what the number was on trades. Do you remember what the betting line was on trades in the first round?
I think it was 5.5.
With like the quarterback as well. Can you see that many trades? You guys think that it's going to go crazy in the first round? We're going to have a bunch of trades?
I'd take the over on that.
The over? So
yeah, I'd say about the over probably.
Okay. It's going to make for a fun night if we do, Sometimes it gets rather boring when you just sit there and it's pick after pick after pick, So it's sort of exciting to get the trades in there every now and then.
Getting ready to start.
Yeah, I haven't seen the commissioner come up and get his inaugural his annual booing from the crowds. So
I got it up on the TV. It just now tuned into the draft. Like they're just showing the crowd right now.
yeah, I see that. Question while we're waiting: what does Denver have to do to get a draft here, guys?
Good question.
To get a draft. What did you say?
To get the draft here,
Good question.
I mean, was the NFL so upset with the way the team was operated in shambles? That with the trust and everything else, they weren't going to throw one out here then, and now they maybe want to see the Walton Penner group turn it around a little bit before they reward us with something like that.
I'd say that's plausible.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you one amazing place to have a draft would be at Red Rocks, but I just don't. They'd probably want someone bigger for crowd capacity, but boy, that would be a heck of a scene up there at Red Rocks.
Sure would.
Have a draft up
I'd be up there all 3
So-
days.
So,
Come on.
right. Well, it looks like the 89th NFL draft is underway now, and Chicago is on the clock. I don't think it's going to take them long to run this card up there. So,
Oh,
I don't know if they really.
Oh, I bet they'll still take all 10 minutes.
Oh, they may
Yeah.
just for the
Still
drama
doesn't
effect,
People think that they're not going to take Caleb.
So, yeah. What can they be thinking? Showing them on the phone and everything. Who they talking to? They trading out, So, boy, it would cost a pretty penny probably to get up there to one. What's that, Eddie?
That'd be the wildest thing if they traded out of the first overall pick.
Yeah, it definitely would be. Definitely. So, but it wouldn't surprise me with the Bears. So I got a friend who's a huge Bears fan, so I'm sure he would be throwing things through. I don't think he's a huge Caleb Williams fan. What do you guys think, Caleb Williams? Is this guy really what everybody's cracking him up to be? Talent-wise, I know the guy's sort of off the charts. I mean, does his attitude bother you at all, Travis?
To an extent, yeah. I mean, I don't know how much of it's overblown by things like social media, but I have never seen enough in him to be calling him a slam dunk number one overall pick. I've seen things where they said if he was in the same draft with Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow and all the guys in the last 6 drafts, he'd still be going number one tonight. Man, I can't get on board with that at all.
I can't either. Not with those guys, I don't even know if he's the best talent in this draft, seriously,
No.
But, I mean, I think the media has sort of hyped him up so much. I think the Bears feel obligated that they have to take him at this point. So, boy, it would be a shocker if they came up there and that card said Drake May or somebody else, wouldn't it? Well, that would flip this whole draft on its head. You'd have everybody trying to scramble to get up to number 2. But
yeah.
So
Jaden Daniels, number 1 overall pick.
Freaking Commanders are going to get a haul if that happens.
Oh, it would be insane. And to be honest with you, I think that Bears, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I was arguing that the Bears should have kept Justin Fields and just gotten an absolute haul for that number 1 pick.
Oh, I agree. I think Justin Fields has some talent. I think he can be good with the right coaching and the right system. So he showed flashes last year.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line is a joke. How did they expect him to operate behind there?
Yeah, and what they could have got from another team for that number 1 pick would have probably been the biggest deal in NFL history.
Right. Yeah. So it would have been almost a Herschel Walker type deal, So Eddie, what are your thoughts? I mean, does Caleb Williams' attitude scare you away a little bit?
Yes, it does. Like even at number 1, if we had the first overall pick, I wouldn't draft him. Like it terrifies me. Plus, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, and you could even say Trevor Lawrence hasn't really lived up to the hype of being the number 1 overall pick. Baker Mayfield, who's on his 4th team. And then also last year with Bryce Young. You can say the team was at fault for that because they didn't have a good team around him or a good coach. But it's like, I hate when they do this every year. Like, oh, he's the clear-cut number 1 first overall pick. And then it's like, okay, well, and then he goes into the season and he's playing badly or poorly, just like Bryce Young did last year. Like, look at C.J. Stroud, second overall pick. Look at half the quarterbacks. Even Patrick Mahomes was the second quarterback taken 10th overall. Like,
and it's
just because
really
you're the number one overall pick doesn't mean you're going to be good in the
right.
NFL.
I mean, Mitch Trubisky was picked over Patrick
Mahomes.
Mahomes. Where's he at now?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it has to do with system fits, and if you don't fit into a system and a team is not going to change their system, just like Russell Wilson. I'm not a Russell Wilson fan, but Russell Wilson has talent. He just did not fit into Sean Payton's system, and Sean Payton was not going to change his system for Russell Wilson. So,
Broncos fans will hate it, but I think Russ is going to do good in Pittsburgh.
I think he is too. My wife's a Steelers fan. She didn't like the trade at first, but I think she's warming up to it a little bit. I mean, but at first she's like, I don't want him there. But heck, who knows? Justin Fields may even beat him out.
He could.
So never know. We'll really find out if Russell Wilson is past his prime. So.
I got to bet with my father $10 that Justin Fields will be the starter by week 5 in Pittsburgh.
Definitely possible.
Yeah, would not shock me one bit. So, but I think Mike Tomlin will have a very short leash with Russell Wilson. Chicago, boy, they are taking their time, aren't they?
Yeah, it's already on commercial.
They want to draw. I don't think the NFL Network really expected them to take this long to make this pick. So, who do you guys? Washington, are you guys pretty much set with Washington as taking Daniels, or do you think does Daniels fit the Kingsbury system better than a Drake May would?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, we got Dez with us. I'm going to go ahead and bring Dez into the show. Dez, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
How you guys doing?
We are doing well.
Good.
Just want to introduce Dez. This is Desmond Lawrence. He's hoping to soon join the Colorado Sports Connection, doing some podcasts for us. So he thought he'd stop by tonight and give us a little bit of insight on it. Here comes the commish. He is walking up to the podium now.
With Eminem.
Dez, you don't think it's anybody other than Caleb Williams, do you?
Oh, it's Caleb Williams all the way.
Okay, so
I find it funny
that coming out too. So
I find it funny Eminem and Detroit fans up there for the Bears pick.
Yeah, right. So he might be running out of Detroit pretty soon.
I don't have the volume. Are they booing him?
I don't know. I don't have the volume on either.
No, they're cheering him.
I think they're cheering for Eminem, not him.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Enough with these.
Yeah. Stop dragging it out. Just tell us who he picked.
God, I can't believe it. Wait, is that who I thought it was? I just walked out?
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now they got Megatron.
Oh, they're bringing out some former Lions players or former and current Lions players right now. Oh,
wow. Sticking to the Bears, right?
Yeah. Hey, hold on, Bears. We're going to parade our players out here first. So,
Yep.
While we're waiting for this to come in, I mean, what are your thoughts? What do you think the Broncos are doing at 12? They taking a quarterback there? They trading back? What do you think they're doing? What are you hoping they're doing?
I think Denver should get a quarterback. I mean, we have Zach Wilson. That's a bridge quarterback, second string quarterback, but you need to have somebody for the future. And next year's salary cap, I think they'll have about $85 million with the Russell Wilson contract as well. That they can get free agents, but you can get a quarterback, get his feet wet, and then he can have a year under the Sean Payton system.
Well, they did rush them all out there, didn't they?
We take your tires. We're going to make you wait even longer now.
Right. I guess they're forcing the Bears to take the whole 10 minutes on this one.
They want the airtime. I don't think they mind at all.
Come on, let's go.
You guys think that Detroit's a formidable team next year to compete for the NFC Championship again?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, especially since they just signed St. Brown. I'd say yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
here we go.
He got paid. He definitely got paid.
Okay, Goodell, no one wants to hear you talk. Just announce the pick. Yeah, like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, it's now underway. They're not even announcing the pick now. They're going to get
Now they're
10
putting them
more
on the
minutes.
clock. Gee whiz.
Oh, they are picking. No, they're not.
Oh, now it starts. Oh, come on.
Yeah, now you got 10 more minutes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got more airtime to fill. So, what else you guys got on your mind? Anything?
What do you guys think the Broncos' records are going to be this year?
Oh boy, that's good. Depends on what we do at quarterback here. Tell you what, if we rush Zach Wilson and Jarrett Stidham out there, I'm going to say maybe 6-11. So, is it a tank for Shedeur Sanders or something? You know?
Yeah. I agree with the record because we got to see what we're going to get at quarterback, what we're going to do with this pick. We may even trade down to get multiple picks.
Yeah, and that's been the popular thing in here, Des. I don't know if you caught much of it before, but Travis and myself both think that the best thing is for the Broncos to trade down, you know, maybe to 20 or 22, pick up a second-round pick, maybe even a third as well, but at least a second. So that way you can maybe in the second, you can pick your quarterback like a Spencer Rattler or a Michael Pratt, you know, someone there, and maybe pick up some other positions like a receiver, defensive line help. We definitely need that. We need a great edge rusher. I don't know if Verse from Florida State falls all the way down to 20 or so, but like I said, I don't think any of the top 6 quarterbacks are going to go past 19. That's just my opinion. Not with the Raiders going to overdraft Penix, and then and the Rams, if Bo Nick's sitting there at 19, they're going to grab him. So,
I believe if the Broncos take a quarterback in the first round or even the second or third round, that quarterback, regardless of who it is, you know, JJ, Bo, Penix, Rattler, Pratt, whoever it is going to sit for a year. Either Zach Wilson or Stidham is going to be the starter for the year, I believe.
Yeah, I could see a good competition between. I think if we do draft a quarterback, I think that Stidham's probably on his way out. I think you would probably have Zach Wilson, and then whoever we draft would probably battle for the starting job, and then the other would be the backup. So, but I don't see Stidham staying around. I don't know what his cap hit is. I don't think it's too huge. So to let him go, and we only got him
$5 million if you cut Stidham.
How much?
$5 million.
$5 million.
$5
So
million,
okay.
Yeah.
So not horrible, but it's not like we have a ton of cap space right now either. Right now, so
I think right now with all the moves we made, if I remember right, I heard it the other day. I think we got like $25 million after all the restructures, all the contracts that we gave. I think we got about $25 million.
yeah. So,
That's not counting the draft class though either.
and Jerry does say he loves this extended wait on the Bears' decision. So
With the first overall pick, the Bears select Jaden Daniels.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be much. I don't think picks 1 or 2 are going to be much of a surprise. I think it's going to be Williams and then Jaden Daniels, and I think the draft really starts at pick 3 after after New England decides what they are going to do. So Chicago, though, I mean, if Williams can go up there and keep his head straight, they've added some talent this year. And then they're sitting good at 9 where heck, if Brock Bowers is sitting there, they could grab Brock Bowers at 9. They could grab another receiver because Keenan Allen, they got him, but he's what, going on 32 now, I think. So how long
Yeah.
is Keenan Allen going to be with them? So they may at number 9 go offense again and grab another offensive weapon for Caleb Williams. So, and then they'll just
Well,
make teams try to outscore him. It'll be just like he's playing at USC again.
I'm going to go crazy here and say at pick 9, if the Bears don't trade back, they take Verse or Turner, one of those pass rushers, because they still got a defensive-minded head coach.
Oh yeah, and they can use some defensive help, so they can use it. So, but
Which I always found silly. Like, why would you trade Justin Fields? Like, if you got kind of like we were with Vic Fangio a few years back. Why would you trade a quarterback when your coach is a lame duck head coach and he's probably going to be gone if they don't do well this year? Then the new guy's going to come in. Well, Caleb Williams is not my guy.
Right. Well, and I think this pick with Caleb Williams maybe buys a coach another year. You're going to be operating with a rookie, and they'll say, well, we moved on from Justin Fields. This is your guy now. This is who you wanted. You got it. 3 years, to show that it's going to work. I mean, sort of the same thing with Sean Payton. If Sean Payton goes out here and drafts Bo Nix at 12 and it doesn't work, 2 to 3 years, Sean Payton's going to be out of here anyway. They're going to say, we gave you your guy and it didn't work, so it's time for you to go. So we'll see how it all shakes out. And the Bears still are taking their. I saw him on the phone with Caleb Williams, so I don't think they were calling him to say, we're not going to pick you.
Yeah, but Sean Payton's only got a 5-year contract. He's going into year 2 of that. So that's why I think they're going to take a quarterback this year, because even if it's Bo Nix or JJ, it's going to take a year, if not 2, maybe even 3, for him to develop correctly.
Right.
And I'm sure Peyton's going to want his quarterback by the time he signs another contract here, if he gets another one.
How shocked would you be, Travis, if we didn't go quarterback at all and it turns out that Sean Payton's guy is Zach Wilson? Do you have faith in Zach Wilson?
That would be a little bit shocking if they didn't take a quarterback at all. But, Zach Wilson – I think what the trade for Zach Wilson did was it made it so that they don't have to be so desperate in drafting a quarterback. They don't have to feel like, hey, we've got the 12th pick. We've got to take one here.
Right. Yeah. And I agree. I think that thing did. Before they traded for Zach Wilson, I was like, okay, something's going to happen at 12. We're either going to trade up and get somebody, or, we may even take somebody right there at 12. But once we got Zach Wilson, I mean, because Zach Wilson has talent. The guy was in a horrible situation in New York. Sean Payton is called the quarterback. Well, I know Alex doesn't, because Alex is a Utah fan, so he's not going to cheer for any BYU person. But I mean, if Sean Payton is the quarterback whisperer, can he salvage Zach Wilson? Des, what are your thoughts?
I think Sean Payton can work with Zach Wilson. I mean, he's young too. I mean, he's 21, 22 years old. I mean,
yeah, he is young.
And he definitely has an arm. And I think the offensive line for Denver is a little bit better than the Jets. I mean, Sean Payton, if he gets a quarterback this year, it buys him another year. But if he gets Bo Nix, that's the type of guy that he likes. Quick. It's like a Drew Brees type player that can just throw the ball quick, make quick decisions, but have command in the huddle. So we'll see what they do. But I feel if they get a quarterback, I think that's the dire need right now.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams off the board.
All right. Washington is on the clock now. And I'm sure we're all thinking it's probably going to be Jaden Daniels. I just don't see them, not going with Jaden Daniels. I think he fits the.
Honestly, I was going to say, I don't.
What's that, Eddie?
I was going to say, honestly, I don't think the Zach Wilson thing made a difference and the Broncos taking a quarterback.
No, I don't either. I just think it made it not such a priority now. Because if
Well,
you could
the reason
slide
why I
back
say
to 2
that
or
is
3 and get
because
somebody.
the reason why I say that though is because remember last offseason, Sean Payton was talking up Jarrett Stidham like, oh, he's perfect. I really like his blah blah blah. Ever since the season ended, you haven't heard anything from Sean Payton about Jarrett Stidham. I think Stidham is gone, and I think they take a quarterback tonight.
Oh, I wouldn't. I don't know if it'll be tonight, but by tomorrow we will have a quarterback. It'll be in round 2 or 3 if we don't take one tonight. So, but there will be another quarterback added to this quarterback room. We're not going into the season with Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson, and Ben DiNucci. I just don't see that happening here. So.
Maybe the Zach Wilson trade implies that they're interested in a guy like Nix instead of a trade up.
And that's possible. And maybe they do think that you can slide back and still get Nix and get some draft capital. I don't know. I just don't agree with picking him at 12, him or Penix. I just don't see them as that high a talent. So
if you trade back and you still want Penix or Nix, you're going to only be able to trade back to maybe like 14.
Yeah, you're not going to go
I don't
back
think the
far.
Saints are going to let him get by whoever's left because I think
Yeah,
because the Raiders ain't going to let Penix slide. If he's there at 13, I think the Raiders take him.
Yeah, and the Saints, I don't think are overly happy with Derek Carr. I don't see him as their long-term solution.
So you'd only be able to trade back to who's at 14 right now? Is it the Colts?
Colts are 15.
Yeah, Saints are 14, Colts are 15, and then Seahawks are 16, I believe. So
yeah, so you might not be able to trade back if you want Nix.
Yeah, if he gets by there, then 19. I mean, I just don't see him going past the Rams. I think he's really a McVay type of guy. So I think
Penix falls completely out of the first round.
That wouldn't shock me one bit. If the Raiders don't pick him at 13, then I would not be surprised to see Penix fly all the way out of the first round, because I think people are still concerned about those medicals. As much as he said he's been cleared and everything else. They hit a lot harder in the NFL, and you saw what it was like in the Michigan game.
Yeah,
the guy took a beating.
Yeah.
I was actually impressed that he got up off the carpet every time like he did, but can he take that beating in the NFL, So,
Dude.
yeah, I think people are concerned. Uh-oh, Eddie, what happened?
No, I don't know. I just had a weird, I'm just waiting for something to pop up and said the Broncos traded up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought something popped up and Eddie saw something where he grabbed his head. So.
Well, I mean, not the 2, but the 3 or 4. We're thinking it's going to be the Vikings, and I don't know, man. We know Sean Payton and the Broncos are desperate for a quarterback. I seriously would not hesitate to say that they're going to trade up to 3 or 4.
And that's a good question here. I mean, I could see if we get Nix later in the first round, and then going with Reader Lombardi in the later rounds. But do you, Travis, pick 2 quarterbacks in this draft, or do you have enough holes elsewhere that you're going to have to address some of those, and maybe bring in a UFA quarterback?
Yeah, I've got way too many holes to be taking 2 quarterbacks, especially since I just traded for Zach Wilson.
Right.
I definitely wouldn't take 2.
Yeah. So
the pick is in for the Commanders. Watch it be Drake May.
It could be.
It could be. I mean, there has been some talk today that Drake May is the guy that the Washington really wants. Because then I think people start scrambling to try to get the 3 if it is Drake May. But New England couldn't be that dumb and just say nope. I mean, if Jaden Daniels falls to you at 3, you got to take the guy.
Do you really think Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings would trade up to 3 to take Jaden Daniels? I mean, team-wise.
I don't know. Well, they're
Come on. I want to know who it is.
Rappaport's talking about Jaden Daniels right now.
Is he? Yeah, it's Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is the pick. So now do people start trying to move up? Is Drake May the quarterback, or is J.J. McCarthy the quarterback that the Patriots want? Are the Patriots open for business now to trade out of here and get some draft capital? So do you expect Patriots take a quarterback, Travis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's their need.
Yeah, that is their biggest need. I'm just wondering if they trade back in. You trade back to 12, you can still get Bo Nix at 12.
Yeah, they could get an offer that they can't refuse. So that's certainly a possibility.
And that division is going to be nice this year to watch. It's going to be fun to watch. Cowboys, Eagles, and Commanders. Man, that's going to be a fun division to watch.
Yeah, it will be. And Giants, who knows? Giants may work their way into getting one of these top 4 as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Giants trade up to 4 with Arizona and grab a quarterback. You just can't move forward with Daniel Jones, can you?
All right, New England's on the clock.
I wouldn't want to.
So.
No, but I think they're going to give him at least one more year and give him a weapon. Let's see if that'll help him.
Well, because of the contract they gave him, they pretty much have to.
Yeah. It'd be stupid to say, hey, we're going to bench you and pay you $35 million. So, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Here's the question.
Quarterback and have him sit for a while behind Jones and then take over mid-year through the season if you have to.
Yeah, Drew Lock's going to have the job there.
He might. I was
God.
actually hoping the Broncos would bring Drew Lock back here.
I was too.
So I've always been a Drew Lock supporter and think he just was in a bad situation. It's sort of like Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson was in a bad situation, and hopefully he can come here and we can get something out of him. At least for a year. What's that?
If we would have brought Drew Lock back with Sean Payton and Drew Lock goes out there and balls like none other, a lot of Broncos country would be ticked off about that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was really hoping it would work with him, too, since I'm from Missouri myself, and so is Drew Lock. I was really hoping he'd work out.
Why do you think he didn't?
Why?
Huh?
Yeah, why do you think he didn't work out?
Oh, I know. I know the reasoning. And I'm glad he's not
want to
here
enlighten us?
No, I'm legitimately asking, what your opinion is on why he didn't.
I thought you were like saying like why.
No,
he didn't work out.
I'm a Drew Lock guy. So
it was Pat
and I am
Shermer
too.
and Nick Fangio. They were the problem.
agreed.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have got rid of Skaggs, when him and Drew Lock seemed to be working well together.
Absolutely.
But Fangio wanted his guy in here, so they got rid of him. So
that's what happens when you have no leadership in the building.
that is true. That is true. Yeah, and I agree with Jerry here. I think Zach Wilson can compete with the rookie, and definitely beat out Stidham.
I agree.
So, Zach Wilson may even be your starter at the beginning of the year as you transition to a rookie guy. So
the pick is in. The Patriots didn't trade back. So who's it going to be?
It's got to be Drake May.
Drake
Yeah,
May.
it is.
It gotta be Drake May.
It is. It's Drake May. So now, is JJ McCarthy worth jumping up to number 4? The only team I could see trying to get up to number 4 to get Drake May would be Minnesota. I think they're the only team. In other words, Drake May or JJ McCarthy is going to fall to the Giants at 6. If you're the Giants, do you take him?
Yeah.
Or do you have other
I think
needs?
you do.
I would say yeah, but I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to take a receiver. Hell, they might even take Brock Bowers, honestly, because Darren Waller, didn't he like leave in the free agency or retire?
I think he's still up in the air on what he's doing.
Like if they're going to give Daniel Jones another year, they got to get him another weapon.
Yeah. Malik Neighbors would be hard to pass on.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, I don't know.
What if the Vikings don't trade up?
What's that?
What if the Vikings don't trade up?
Then they want Bo Nix. Or
I'm saying if they don't trade up.
Or they're hoping that McCarthy's just going to slide to him at 11, which possible.
Could happen.
Yeah.
Could happen.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, what if they don't trade up to get him, and then he drops down to like 8 or 9? Should the Broncos pick up the phone? I say yeah.
For McCarthy? I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not a huge McCarthy guy, so.
Come on, tell us.
But I would definitely make some phone calls. I guess it doesn't matter who I like; it's who Sean Payton likes.
Yeah.
So we can all sit here and say who we like or not. But
Sure.
does Arizona trade out, or are they desperate enough they need Marvin Harrison Jr. here?
I would take Harrison, but again, they might get one of those packages that they just can't say no to.
Right.
Well, because if the Vikings don't trade up here for McCarthy at 4, then they're going to probably trade up at 5.
Yeah, I mean, you got to assume that the Giants are going to grab a quarterback. So you would think that they want to get ahead of them.
Well, here's the thing. Do the Giants really need to take a quarterback at 6? You got Brian Daboll, who's a good quarterback,
Depends on who you want,
That's what I'm saying. Like, with Daboll being good at developing quarterbacks, couldn't they take like a Pratt or a Rattler in the 3rd?
Oh, yeah, they definitely could. I mean, it doesn't have to be their number 1 pick. So.
I think they go receiver with their 6th overall pick and then probably pick up one of these other quarterbacks in the later rounds.
Yeah. So, I mean, is there really a reason for Minnesota to trade up to 5 then? Because the Chargers aren't going to take JJ. I don't care what the rumors say. The Chargers are not going to take JJ McCarthy.
I don't think they would trade up to 5 at that point. If they know the Giants ain't going to take one.
If the Giants are going to go Neighbors, then, and is Tennessee really going to go quarterback? Is that their most pressing need? Probably not.
No, I think they're stuck with Will Levis, right? The Titans.
Yeah.
They've got him. I don't know that they're necessarily stuck with him, but I think they still want to see more out of him.
I think
what
so
I'm
too.
saying is, like, if Drake May falls to like 8 or 9, they might still trade up the Vikings because they know that the Broncos might want him too. So the Broncos could possibly try to trade up.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah, if he gets past there, then I think, if the Broncos really want him, then they're going to have to start, Minnesota's going to have to decide if they want him too. I don't know if McCarthy is the guy that they want in Minnesota, though.
But that's only if Sean Payton's in love with him because, Sean Payton's not going to get into a bidding war for 8 or 9 to get McCarthy if he's not in love with him because it's going to become a bidding war at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So the only way Broncos are going up is if it's somebody that Sean Payton is absolutely in love with. In other words, Sean Payton's not going to trade up and just grab some guy that he's not 100%, sold on.
Yep. All right. Is there going to be a trade here? Or the Cardinals going to select? This is big right here.
Marvin Harrison Jr., I believe.
Who's the OC at New England?
I'm not even sure offhand.
I'm not either. Hey, Graham, could you look that up really quick, see who the offensive coordinator is at New England? Maybe they can bring Josh back to work with Drake May. I don't know if Josh McDaniel's ever allowed in that building again or not. I don't know.
Sorry, David. What was that?
Can you look and see who the offensive coordinator is for New England?
Isn't it Bill O'Brien?
Oh, I think it is. I think he did
no.
leave Alabama to go there, didn't he?
Alex Van Pelt.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. They just brought him on this offseason.
yeah. Bill O'Brien was. Oh, yep. Arizona has picked Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, there you go.
So, yep.
That means the Vikings think that JJ is going to fall to them. So get ready for a bidding war if the Giants don't take him, because I have a feeling that's going to happen if Sean Payton's in love with McCarthy.
Man, I'm a full pick behind.
Bro, I'm excited. I cannot wait. Come on, Broncos. Don't let me down tonight, please. Broncos country's itching for some excitement tonight. How you
All
guys
right.
finding out so quick who the pick is?
What's that?
How you guys finding out so fast who the pick is?
Probably Twitter.
I'm actually watching the. I have pulled up on my computer the PFF draft tracker.
Okay.
So they seem to be popping them up pretty quick.
Well, with the Chargers going on the clock, I better get ready to start doing some coverage here. So I'm going to have to head out.
All right, Travis. Hey, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We
guys.
appreciate it.
This was fun.
Hopefully, we'll see you on the airwaves soon. So,
You will.
all right. Take care.
Thanks, Travis.
All right,
Good luck
thank
to you,
you.
Chargers.
man.
Thanks, Travis.
Thank you.
All right, I have a draft tracker up now since I'm behind. I hate streams sometimes.
Graham has just heard that the Chicago Bears have taken Caleb Williams.
Yeah, that's a shocker. Total shocker. All right, Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr.
All right, got it up. Gonna watch it here and see what happens. Oh, you only get a free trial for an hour? Lame.
For what's that?
I went on PFF draft tracker, and it's like you got
Oh.
59 minutes on a remaining trial.
Just go to NFL.com.
They pop up there fast?
I'll let you know.
Yeah, I didn't think the Cardinals were going to trade back. They had to get a receiver.
Yeah, it would have had to be in the right package. I mean, they do. If they're really committed to Murray, then they need to get him some weapons. So,
Are any of you surprised that Marvin Harrison Jr. was the first receiver off the board, given the recent hype of the other ones?
No,
No.
I think he's a generational talent. I honestly don't think he will be the best receiver in this class. I'm still going to go with Brian Thomas Jr. He's going to be sort of my Justin Jefferson, from that draft class. He was picked, third or fourth in the class, and he's the best receiver that came out of that class. That's the class with Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb, and who else was in that class? I can't remember, but Justin Jefferson just has had an amazing
Henry Ruggs.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and wasn't the other LSU receiver out there the one that's with Cincinnati?
Higgins?
Chase.
Yeah,
No, I thought it was T. Higgins came out in that
T-
class.
he's a Clemson guy.
Oh,
T. Higgins is.
yeah, but I
So
thought didn't Chase
I
come
thought-
out in 20? Wait,
I thought Chase and Jefferson came out same year. Maybe not.
yeah, it had to be 2021. Chase came out because Burrow was drafted in 20.
Yeah.
Jerry Judy was drafted in 20 as well. I mean, right?
20 or 21, I thought.
I thought it was 20.
What's that?
Jerry Judy.
He was drafted 15th overall.
I meant
What
which
a
draft.
bust. What a bust.
Jerry Judy came out in 21.
21.
Or no,
Oh,
20.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
no, wait. Oh yeah, I read that wrong.
So yeah, Jamar Chase was
Yeah, 20.
the pick number 5. Then you had Waddle from Alabama. You had Devontae Smith from Alabama. Tony from Florida. Bateman from Minnesota. Okay, so Jefferson must have come out in the year before. The year before Jamar Chase. Because he was in the draft class with CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Judy.
Who? Justin Jefferson?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was in that same class.
yeah,
The top 3 were C.D. Lamb, Henry Ruggs, Jerry Judy, and I think Jefferson was the next one to get taken.
right. Yeah, he was selected 22nd.
C.D. Lamb went at what? Henry Ruggs went at what was it, 11 or 12? Judy, right there somewhere. Judy
Yeah.
went 15. C.D. went at 18, I think, and then Justin Jefferson went at like 20 something.
Yep. They even had Jalen Reagor ahead of him too.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, Brian Thomas is I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people. But Malik Neighbors is also a special talent too. Cardinals still on the clock. I mean, not the Cardinals, the Chargers. I haven't seen them do anything yet.
It's probably because they're working on a trade deal.
Gee, wouldn't it be funny if they did select J.J. McCarthy?
Denver Broncos select
Oh,
JJ McCarthy, number 5 overall, after a trade.
Sending Justin Herbert to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Hey, have you heard from Matt Graham?
No.
All right. Hey, guys, I'm going to jump out for a minute. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a restroom break, and I'll be right back.
All right. Man, come on. Just pick somebody, Chargers. I'm eager. I want to hurry up and get to 12.
I know. I feel you. I'm like, man, this is slow.
I think there's no way they don't take a receiver.
They got to take a receiver.
Yeah.
Well, it just depends. Like, if the Vikings plan on trading up, do they want to get in the bidding war with the Broncos if McCarthy falls all the way down to 8 or 9? Or they just want to go up and get their guy?
Right.
Come on.
Let the Vikings trade up and take a defensive lineman or take a defensive line guy at like pick 11.
Oh, man.
Maybe they go into the year with just Sam Darnold and what they got and just, I mean, they got a lot of holes on their team too.
Yeah, they do have a
Pick
lot of
again.
holes.
They didn't trade it. It's
They
Joe
traded?
Alt.
Oh my god.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Well, the Chargers are trying to be a running team this year too.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, I think they needed to get a weapon for Justin Herbert, but man, Yeah, because that's what what's his name? Jim Harbaugh likes to do. He loves running that ball, so
Yeah.
he's gonna build up the trenches.
He said he's going to build the trenches.
Giants are on the clock. I really honestly don't think the Giants are taking a cue. They can't.
Nah.
Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna draft JJ McCarthy and then not give him any weapons to throw to?
That's a disservice to the quarterback.
How about a tackle?
Especially now, knowing that you got Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, and Dak Prescott all in your division. I would focus on building up the team first before getting my quarterback.
Yeah, I think that they might take a tackle, the Giants.
It's either going to be an offensive. I can go three ways with the Giants: offensive line, receiver, or defensive line. Because I mean, they have a couple of solid pieces on defense, but they really need maybe even a corner. I don't think they have very good corners either.
Yeah, they said they might need some corners, especially for them. And maybe a safety or a defensive tackle too in the draft. They can
What if
get.
the Broncos trade up with the Giants at 6 to take JJ, and they give him Patrick Surtain?
Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
well,
no.
quarterback is
I mean-
more valued than the corner, so
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying if they've already decided in their minds they're giving Daniel Jones another year, it's like, all right, we'll either get at that point I'd either give him an offensive line
Mhm.
or a receiver.
Yeah.
But if they do that too, say like we trade Surtain and the 12th pick to move up 6 spots to get JJ, they get a corner and they could probably still get one of the an offensive lineman or a receiver there at pick 12.
Yeah.
I can't believe the Chargers took Joel. Oh, I really honestly thought they were going to take a receiver
Yeah.
yeah, me too.
or even Brock Bowers for that matter.
Somebody to help Justin Herbert with some weapons because is it Mike Williams gone too and Keenan Allen?
Both of them are gone. Austin Eckler's gone.
Yeah.
I
I think they
the only
signed Gus.
person-
They signed Gus Edwards, I think, to a 2-year deal. I think they did this offseason.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
They also still have what's his name? Look, they got that young kid they drafted last year. They got him and they got Palmer still too.
Mm-hmm.
What? I see the Chargers took Joe Alt.
Yep.
That pick literally just came on my screen now.
Hey, David,
Yeah.
I was telling these guys that Giants need a corner. What if the Broncos trade the 12th pick and Surtain to move up to 6 to take JJ? That way they can get the corner they need, and they can also probably get a receiver offensive lineman at 12. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, they could. They definitely could.
God, how long has the draft been going? 50
Like 20
minutes, and
minutes.
we're only on pick 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's crazy.
Cecil Lemley is perfect on his mock draft so far. Damn.
That just shows the Chargers' commitment to a running game. Well, if you're Justin Herbert, do you even want to play there? Hey,
Hey,
everybody, isn't that Steffiero?
I made it.
Malik
Sorry,
Neighbors.
gentlemen.
It's Malik Neighbors for the Giants.
I actually picked that with the PPF, a little thing they give you on the side to see who you want to pick. That's a good pick, though.
Yeah. Yep, Malik Neighbors. That is a good
JJ's
pick for the
going.
Giants. So,
That's
All
what
right,
you guys are
man.
thinking. Did the Giants pay get announced yet? I'm trying to catch up. I mean, I saw the first few picks.
They took Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Yep.
6 foot, 200 pounds. That's a big receiver right there. Big target.
Chargers took Joe Alt.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Hey guys, that means JJ's falling down to down towards 10. Do you think the Broncos will trade up for him?
Matt, what do you think?
Say that one more time. I was having some trouble with my headphones.
I said
Well-
JJ McCarthy's starting to slip. If he gets down towards 10, you think the Broncos trade up for him? In front of the
No.
Vikings?
Vikings, yes. Broncos, no.
Well, if he gets to 10, I don't see the Vikings trading up since they're sitting at 11. Because the
That's
Jets
what I'm
aren't
saying,
going
like-
to pick him.
If they know that the Broncos are going to try to trade up, then that's when I think they try.
Yeah. But does somebody like the Raiders try to? I still think the Raiders are in love with Penix.
Yeah, they're in love with Penix, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Like, you
but
know-
that could be just a huge smokescreen too.
You know now, unless someone trades up, McCarthy's at least going to fall down to 11, unless someone trades up.
Matt, what do you see Tennessee doing here?
Now that Alt is off the board, I mean, they still got to go offensive line here. I think Neighbors
Think
would
they're
have been
gonna go
probably. I think if they went and tackle, it would be Fashanu out of Penn State. That'd be where I would go. I actually think was the best tackle in the class. I'm not as high in Joe Alt as most are. Let me see who else. This could be where we see the first trade too.
Who do you think trades up?
I mean, the team that if they started a tackle run here, you're going to see a team like Cincinnati maybe want to move up. New Orleans may want to move up. With Neighbors, the other team you got to keep an eye on right here is Indianapolis. They want a receiver. Marvin Harrison's off the board now. Neighbors is off the board now. You got the Bears at 9 sitting there. Maybe they want a Dunze. So, this would be a good spot to jump up and do it. I mean, this could be a place where we see the Titans take a receiver too.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
need
the
one.
Titans
Who's
need
the
a
other
receiver,
receiver?
Roma Dunze from Washington.
Yeah, that's who it was. Okay.
Yeah. Is
Are
Roma
you guys-
the next one off the board, you think, Matt?
Next wide receiver, yes.
Yeah, I think he's
You
off the
think it's
board next.
possible that the Titans could take Brock Bowers as a weapon for Will Levis?
I don't think so.
No.
I think Brock Bowers doesn't make it past 10.
Mm-mm.
No,
No,
absolutely
That's
not.
the Jets taking him if he slides
Yeah, well-
down there.
He will. If the Titans don't take him and someone doesn't trade up, the Jets will definitely take him because the Falcons they got Pitts, and then the Bears they got what's his name? What's their tight end's name? I forgot it.
Komet.
Cole Kmet.
Kmet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the Bears are going to stick there and pick offense, I see him going wide receiver. But it may be a spot for the Bears to address their defensive line issues too.
You also did have Aaron Rodgers is coming off the Achilles. I could see them go offensive line as well.
Yeah,
Who-
Right now, it's expected that 10 offensive linemen could go in this this first round.
Yeah.
It's
So we're through pick 6, Matt. Are you surprised there has not been a trade yet?
Yes, I thought for sure the Chargers were going to try to trade back. I thought they had Latham as their guy. I thought that was a pick that they could have moved back with. Let's say the Vikings picked up that second pick and probably got Latham in that round, but they decided to go with Joe Alt instead.
Yeah, I'm sort of shocked too, especially after New England took Drake May. I thought some other people would be scrambling to try to get up to number 4 and get McCarthy, but I think McCarthy is going to fall right to the Vikings at 11. I don't see any of these next 4 teams taking McCarthy.
no.
I mean,
Well-
the other guy you got to keep an eye on. I mean, we were told. I mean, Les Snead downplayed it. There's been rumors all day. The Rams are trying to move up into the top 10. They denied it would be for a quarterback, but everyone's saying, hey, McCarthy needs some time. He's not ready to take over. Could this be that perfect switch? I mean, the Rams are kind of stuck in middle gear with where they're at.
Casey
They're not-
Latham.
He went with Latham.
Yeah. I got that one. Eddie, are you using the good old Twitter to get your picks?
No, I'm using what David told me, a PFF.
I'm using
draft
the
tracker.
PFF draft tracker. They're pretty quick.
Yeah.
Okay, faster than Twitter. I'm seeing they're coming out faster than Twitter right now.
That's what I thought. I thought Twitter would be quicker because that's usually where I got most of my information from.
Yeah, usually it's pretty fast, but it looks like this one might be a little bit faster here. I'm serious. I am shocked.
Do we see Dallas Turner go off the board here to Atlanta? You think, Matt?
I think either Dallas Turner or Verse is going to go here to Atlanta.
I don't know. I think this once again. These teams are these next two teams. This could be another
Well,
trade.
right. If there's not a trade, if there's not a trade,
if there's not a trade,
There's
if there's not a trade, this could be, I would say, probably Dallas Turner, Leatu Latu. Depends on where people really feel about his medical. If they decide to go edge, the other name I would keep an eye on. He's not been mocked here much, but I would look at Quinion Mitchell.
Yeah,
cornerback.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they do need a corner.
The Falcons could use anything defensively, honestly. Let's be real.
Right.
The one spot that weapons, they're pretty set. They got their quarterback now. Their offensive line is above average, so it makes sense for this to be a defensive pick for sure. I would say Dallas Turner or Latu. Those are probably the more likely picks, though.
I know you guys don't agree with this, but it's the draft. Anything can happen. What if the Broncos, like I said this earlier, what if they dangle Patrick Surtain? Like I'm not going to say it's not possible because anything's possible in the draft to me.
At this point, unless it's not worth the value to move up a couple spots to, let's say, get a JJ McCarthy at this point, I wouldn't dangle him from there. Right. Honestly, the only team that I would even consider taking this from would Minnesota be that in love with Patrick Surtain. They would be willing to give up pick 23 and a pick next year, maybe. But I don't think it's in the cards at all. He isn't going anywhere.
No, I don't either.
I don't think so either.
I think if he was going to be dangled, it would have been up around 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But I don't think here.
Yeah, and it was said pretty much.
Nothing but picks.
Yeah, and it was pretty much said all day that no one really felt the Broncos had enough capital to move up. What was being asked for picks 3, 4, and even probably 5 was just so astronomical. No one wanted to do it.
Right.
The other thing we have to come into this factor is, let's go back to Malik Willis draft class. With Kenny Pickett, everyone's pounding the table. The need for quarterbacks there. Oh my God, we're going to see all these quarterbacks come, and then we've seen one quarterback taken. We could see a similar drop off right here, right now with these quarterbacks to where maybe they really do have that 2nd or 3rd round grade. Regardless of what the hype is.
So I'll ask you, Matt, we asked this question earlier, over under on quarterbacks in the first round is 5.5. You going over or under?
5.5?
Yep.
I'm going to go under with the 5. I think 5 will go today.
Okay. I think I'm the only one who went over because I think the Raiders are going to do something stupid and grab Penix at 13. So,
but I don't think that's stupid though. Let's be honest. If we're talking Michael Penix and the medicals are there, if we didn't have the medicals, people truly felt that Michael Penix could have been battling for the 1 spot. So he has the talent. Can he stay healthy? Can his frame stay healthy? He's gonna go. That would be the best fit for him, if I'm being honest. He's gonna go with the coach who's a team builder, who's a motivator, and Antonio Pierce, the player's coach. That I wouldn't be happy to play for, especially if Denver doesn't figure out a quarterback, because now we're really stuck in a situation to where we may not have an immediate solution.
So do you think Denver gets desperate here and just grabs a quarterback at 12, Matt?
If McCarthy is there at 12, I can see it happen.
Not Bo Nix?
No, it would be McCarthy over Bo Nix. I'm pretty sure of that.
I could honestly see the Falcons taking McCarthy.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
No, if you want to sit somebody for a couple of years behind Cousins, McCarthy might be the perfect guy. I don't think he's fully polished. Jerry even said it earlier. Jerry Murr said, JJ, he needs a little bit more time. So he might be a guy that you grab and you sit him behind behind Kirk Cousins for a year or two.
I'm also being told that, from a credible source that Bo Nix is actually higher on the Broncos list than JJ McCarthy, but I don't think I don't think they take Bo Nix
He's
at
what?
12. That they're saying that I've been told that they have Bo Nix at a higher grade. Now let's see if that's true or not as we get closer. It just came across my line now. Anything happening?
Look, come on, Atlanta. What are you doing here?
If they're at a minute, it could be working on a trade here last minute. Someone could be moving up.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing here. I don't see how much time's left on their clock. Does it show it on yours, Eddie?
I'm gonna bring up the stream right here right now.
Is in. It doesn't show anything.
Well, the last one I see, NFL Network showing Tennessee pick is in.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
we're way ahead. When we use these secondary sources, we're way, way, way ahead.
Right.
Yeah, than what you're seeing on TV.
because it's been saying the Falcons are on the clock for like 10 minutes already.
Yeah, I mean, it's close.
Titans, J.C. Latham.
Latham, yep.
Latham
saw
out
that.
of Alabama. He's
All
good. He's a big boy. I think he goes about 340, doesn't he?
I can
Yeah,
tell you
right
right
around
now.
there. 342, 343.
I'm the one I'm surprised that's fallen right now is Fashanu. I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah, Latham is 6'6", 335 pounds.
Yep, I was looking at it right now.
That's a big boy.
Oh my God.
Michael Penix.
They
Wow.
took Michael Penix.
Damn.
The Falcons took
What?
Michael Penix.
Oh, my goodness.
Damn.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Whoa, dude, no way.
We're going to get J.J. McCarthy, aren't we?
Wow.
I'm thinking it's possible
Oh.
the McCarthy hype was maybe a little overhyped. I mean, we talked. I mean, Dave, we talked about it last week, and Travis and I've been talking about it in chat. Jody Longcreef, we've talked about it. My biggest issue with JJ McCarthy is he's young, first and foremost. You don't know how much is he truly talented, or how much is it being carried by a dominant coach. Also, how much is it just being that one of the Power 5 schools who's constantly loaded with talent? We don't really truly know what his value is, I think, and that's hurting him right now. What are you thinking about, Des? Yeah, you're out there. You thinking? You're deep in thought. What you think? You think about what these Broncos gonna do? What? I'm shocked. What do you think about the Falcons taking Penix right now, man?
I'm just shocked right now. I'm like, they take Penix and he basically will sit behind Cousins for what? Maybe probably 2 years, maybe one, and
Probably. Yeah, I'm just shocked. It doesn't make sense.
Shocked.
Well,
It doesn't
no,
make
it makes
sense to
no
me.
sense because Cousins is fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
And if you truly think about it, I mean, maybe
It's an insurance policy if he gets hurt, I guess. Let's just
Didn't he
say.
sign a 4-year, $100 million fully guaranteed contract?
Yeah,
Yes, he
most
did.
of his contracts has been fully guaranteed.
Yeah,
That's
guy has
what I
the best
said.
agent in the world.
That's
That
what
is
I said.
crazy.
It's the draft. Anything can happen. The Broncos
Yeah.
could Daniel Surtain, trade him and get JJ. They could trade back. I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody, even all the mock drafts I saw, never had the Falcons taking a quarterback at
No.
7 or 8.
no. There's
And-
your first big surprise right there.
And
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Jerry says maybe there's another deal. Do you think?
I have no idea right now. I am at a loss.
I have no
I'm
idea.
just
what
shocked
other
right now. I'm
people
like,
doing.
well, they need defensive
That means
players.
there's only
Atlanta need
Two
defensive
quarterbacks
players.
left.
Who
This
knows
got
what?
to be. This got to be Roma Dunze right here, right?
Oh yeah,
Well,
This gotta be.
we would think. So
you get more
Once again,
weapons.
I'm not gonna guarantee nothing. Like this could be a trade back. This could be, like you said, Roma Dunze. This could be freaking Verse or Turner. Like we don't know. What if
Right
the-
now, I don't see a team that's really willing to come up. There hasn't been the run on tackles. There
Yeah.
hasn't. We haven't even had a defensive player come off the board yet.
no,
not
this
yet.
is shocking.
That's
I mean,
shocking.
8 players and they're all offensive.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is completely craziness here. I mean, this could be a place where, if the
I can
Bears
see him
want to
going
look,
edge here.
that's what I was getting ready to say. This could be a place where we see them shift, depending where you look. It's kind of been Dallas Turner, Quinion Mitchell, and Laiatu Latu battling for who's number one.
I wouldn't even be
Defensively.
surprised to see Chicago trade back. You could trade back and still get you a decent receiver at around 18 to 20. Hey, if Cincinnati wants to come up here, then trade it with Cincinnati. If Cincinnati likes Rome Odunze, then let him come up and get him.
I mean, the other thing you got to think about too. I mean, eventually there's going to be a run on a position here. There's going to be. Now,
Right.
is that going to be?
Is it edge or cornerback?
Or does this start the quarterback panic? Is this where the Raiders try to jump in front of the Broncos to make sure that they're getting their guy?
Right.
If they feel Denver's going that way,
I mean,
is this
all
where
we heard was their guy was Michael Penix, and now
that's gone.
That's gone. So now they're going to be desperate for a quarterback.
Well,
yeah,
Bears needs as of right now after taking Caleb Williams first overall is wide receiver, defensive line, or edge.
I say any wide receiver.
I mean, well, you got to remember they do got DJ Moore, they got Darnell Mooney, they just got Keenan Allen, they do have Cole Kmet. I mean,
if I'm them, I go defense here because this is a very, very rich wide receiver class. You can pick up another receiver in second or third round.
I think the other piece you got to kind of also think about what was the position they just invested in? They just invested in a quarterback that's supposed to be their future. Do they take the best tackle left on the board right now to shore up the other side? They did take the kid right out of Tennessee last year. Do they go get a guy that's going to be able to play the other side to give this guy the best possibility to succeed?
Right.
And they may have to because, I mean, heck, Justin Fields would have been a lot better if he wasn't running for his life all the time.
I am in disbelief right now with what happened right there with Michael Penix, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I am
Nobody.
too.
I was just preaching the dude up how without the injuries he would have been possibly the number 2 guy taken.
Yeah.
Here's the conundrum, or here's the thing right now. Bears are on the clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the Broncos really, really want J.J. McCarthy, if Sean Payton wants him, this is the time to trade up. Only for the fact that I don't think the Bears would trade back to 11 with the Vikings in the division for the Vikings to get their quarterback. They would be more apt to trade with the Broncos or the Raiders.
Oh yeah, they're not going to trade in their division.
You're right.
Not to let Minnesota better themselves. I mean, because right now they're probably battling for the basement between Chicago and Minnesota right now.
Yeah.
Because those two can't hang with Green Bay or Detroit right now. You're not going to let Minnesota come up and get better than you with a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. If the Broncos are going to trade up, I would say it would be right here.
But I don't see why But Minnesota, I think Minnesota's sitting good where they're at because if they want a quarterback, and I've heard Bo Nix to Minnesota just as well as I have J.J. McCarthy. So one of the two is going to fall to you at 11.
I don't see them trading it. Roman
Odunze to the Chicago Bears.
Damn.
Yeah, we nailed that one. We got that one.
We got that one.
All right. How fast does it? How quick do the Jets get Brock Bowers up there to the podium?
It should already be. It should already be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if we're like I said, I like Brock Bowers there. I don't think that's their biggest need. They need to get a guy that can protect Aaron Rodgers. That offensive line is atrocious.
So would you entertain trading? Would you entertain trading with Denver?
I mean, you could.
If Denver wants to jump ahead of Minnesota to get their quarterback.
I mean, it could happen. It wouldn't cost Denver an arm and a leg either.
Right.
The Jets need a wide receiver, a tackle, a defensive line, and a safety. The Jets do.
I don't pick a wide receiver here. I think you're overpaying if you pick a wide receiver right here. I think tackle, like Matt said, is probably the smart choice.
Tackle.
And they probably go with the guy from Penn State. But
Yeah, that
you have
or
someone like
you also
Brock
got to look
Bowers
at Talisa
falling in your
Fuaga
lap,
too.
man.
Hey, Matt, I wanted to ask you a question.
Go for it.
What do you think the odds are if we don't trade up here with the Jets to get McCarthy if they don't want him? What do you think the odds are of the Vikings passing on McCarthy?
I think they will. I don't think they will. That situation makes sense. He's the youngest quarterback in the draft. We just talked about how much support he may need. He's a team. You take him here, you can build around him because the Vikings are in a prime position right here because they have pick 23. So they can still get two. They can get the impact guy at 23. They can get the guy they feel is their future in 22. They got Sam Darnold for 2 years. It almost feels like it's the perfect situation for them. And at that point, you honestly got to look at it. If you're Denver and Bo Nix is truly your guy, every team you've been kind of worried about, except for the Raiders, has kind of taken a quarterback.
Well, here's my follow-up question. Now we know what the Bears have done so far. They got a receiver. They got multiple receivers. They got a good tight end. They got their quarterback of the future, we think. The Lions, the Packers, all they're going to be really good. Who do you think is going to finish fourth in that division this year?
Minnesota just traded
They
up.
just traded up too.
Minnesota just moved up.
Oh,
Denver, someone was battling for the quarterback right here.
Yep.
This
So
is
who
where
McCarthy
this
or
is
Bo
where
Nix?
this is where JJ McCarthy goes, in my opinion. This is JJ McCarthy. It's got to be.
Gotta be.
Denver. Denver and Minnesota are probably on the phone battling it up. Who's going to give it to him? The question is, what did Minnesota give up?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what the trade is going to be.
Oh wow, they got 10 and 11. Where the Jets traded down to 23.
What? Oh my god.
It was a three-way trade.
Minnesota has back-to-back now.
Holy shenanigans.
Man, could they screw their old former employee and trade with the Raiders at 11 so they can get Bo Nix?
Jesus, what are they doing? They just, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. This is me throwing a hypothetical. I haven't seen anything yet. Did the Vikings just trade Christian Darrisaw to the New York Jets?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the details.
That's a huge drop. The Vikings don't have much capital this year. They didn't have much capital. They had 11 and 23. So, what in the world is going on?
But no. Okay, now it shows the Jets at 11, so they updated it.
Okay,
so they swapped picks.
Okay, so we were wrong. Okay,
so either the Jets or the Raiders or the Broncos or somebody wanted to get ahead of Minnesota.
So the Jets get 11, 129, and 157, and the Vikings get 10. This has to be, I'm assuming, JJ McCarthy at this point.
First trade up, guys.
If it's Bo Nix, I don't know what to think, but if it's Bo Nix, I think you honestly have to question. I mean, what has happened every single time the Broncos have taken the quarterback who was supposed to go at 2, supposed to go at 3, supposed to go here, supposed to go there. Paxton Lynch, every single time we take the quarterback who slides, it's never worked for us. Drew Lock, unfortunately, Paxton Lynch, unfortunately. Let's not fall victim to that.
Do you think
Paxton,
even McCarthy, like if the Vikings take Bo Nix and the Broncos take McCarthy at 12, that I would be fine with it. I understand your explanation there, Matt, but
it's JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy is going to the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, so here you go. Unless the Raiders or somebody trades with the Jets, Bo Nix will be available for the Broncos at 12. If the Broncos want him. This is where you got to trade back.
Trade back.
If you're Denver, trade back.
I think if you're, what's going to happen?
Eddie's been hyping this pick for weeks now.
It could happen. It could happen.
Bo Nix may be his man.
If it is, it is.
I'm not going to hate it if it is.
You know what I'll be sad about is if they don't trade back and they take like Quinny and Mitchell or something. That will hurt me.
If they grab a corner, I'm leaving, guys. I'm done for the night.
I'll leave too. I'll be done.
Would you be very upset if? Would you be very upset if?
Oh, go ahead.
would he be upset if they took Bo Nix here at 12?
I
Would
feel
I
like
be
you've been.
upset?
I
It's
feel like
not my
you've
number
been.
one choice, but I wouldn't be upset because
I'm-
if that's the guy that Sean Payton wants, and they're not just settling here, which
True.
I don't think they would just settle because we've seen Peyton before. I mean, we sat there when Justin Fields fell to us, and we were all like, "Heck yeah, we're getting Justin Fields," and he takes Surtain. So,
He's been here.
that's not Peyton's style, not George Payton. I don't think Sean Payton's a panicker either. Sean Payton's if Bo Nix is his guy, he'll take him at 12. If not, look for Denver to either take Brock Bowers if he falls to him, or they trade out. That's the only things that make sense right here.
Yeah,
But
the
going
other thing
back to what
that.
I
Yeah,
said
go ahead.
about taking Quinn and Mitchell, like that, I'm sorry, but that's the dumbest move you could do, in my opinion. You got Surtain, you just brought in Levi Wallace, and you got McMillan in the slot, and you still don't know what you got in Riley Moss.
Right.
Yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I could see them go edge over. I
If
could
they
see
do,
them go
if they
edge.
go edge, that's another position I'm leaving. I don't.
And edge is the
There's
second
not
most
an
important
edge out there
position.
that really excites me that much to pick him at 12.
I mean, Dallas Turner could have been the first round pick in a draft, a class that wasn't loaded with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels,
Right.
and Drake May. I mean, the thing about it is with this pick, I think you also have to think about who's going to have the biggest impact. Is Bo Nix that guy that you feel is going to come in, beat out Stidham, beat out Zach Wilson? Is he going to be that guy? Because if not, you just wasted a pick for nothing.
You're right.
My philosophy was I didn't care who the Broncos drafted the quarterback, whether it's Nix, Penix, JJ, even Drake May, if they would have got to the point to that. I think the rookie's going to sit at least for half the season.
I honestly think that you could trade back and still get Nix right now. I don't think the Raiders would take Nix here.
Depends on how far you trade back.
I think you could trade all the way back to 20. I think you could trade back to 22.
I don't think so. I see the Rams taking him. The Rams need a replacement for Stafford.
Yeah, but Stafford, you also got to look about. I was thinking about it earlier after I even made the pick, and I hated it. You're getting a quarterback who's going to be 25. That's not really a quarterback. You say, here, let me sit until this guy's ready to be done.
Right.
I mean, but hey, the Falcons decided to just throw a wrench in that plan themselves. So
Right.
You never know.
Man.
Yeah, but even like if you were able to give Caleb, like even last year with Bryce Young, I think Bryce Young would have been better sitting on the bench last year and maybe learning behind a veteran. So
This pick's taking
even
a
the
while.
overall pick,
This
This
pick is
pick's
taking a while.
Do you think the Jets are working another trade?
I wouldn't be surprised. Crazier things have happened.
I wouldn't be surprised to see either the Saints or the Raiders jump the Broncos to get Bo Nix.
I don't think the Saints will. I can see the Raiders maybe doing it, but
The Saints are not happy with Derek Carr.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you also got to remember there's another quarterback that we haven't really mentioned, and the Broncos have actually, the Broncos have met with him a few times. He's kind of Spencer Rattler. He's kind of got that.
Rattler's not coming up this high.
Not this high. This is why I think you could. That's why I'm saying I still wouldn't take trading back and getting one of those edge rushers at 18, 22, somewhere else. For all we know, Bo Nix could fall that far, like we said. I just don't want the pressure of finding the quarterback to derail you from getting the impact.
Exactly.
All right. I'll see you. You have fun at Daddy's next week, okay?
Okay.
All right. Take the
Take
cat.
your miss.
Yeah, take the cat with you, please.
Okay. Take
Sorry.
your kitty.
We have visitors in the studio.
I had the cat coming and smacking me a second ago. Nothing yet,
Matt?
Stokes.
This is a long pick.
They're still on the clock. Nothing's happening. Someone's probably talking. Someone's probably talking about it. Hey, let me come up.
Mm-hmm.
He's got another point. He's got a great point there. I mean, they got Olave, but after that, it gets a little muddy. They also have a terrible offensive line.
Their offensive line is trash.
Yeah, but he's
Really
old.
bad.
He's
Yeah.
getting old.
I
I guess I shouldn't have said they're not happy with him, They just have to be looking to replace him soon. What's he going on year 10? And he's been beat up a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not like he's a Tom
Just
Brady.
picked is in. Who is it?
Brock
It has to
Bowers.
be
Gotta be
Brock
Brock Bowers.
Oh, it is in?
No. That's what I was just told, but I'm not seeing it anywhere.
I'm not seeing it either.
It still hasn't changed, so
It hasn't changed on mine either. Take that back. Maybe not on the clock yet.
No updates for 3 minutes. On Twitter, notifications.
Unbelievable. 10 picks, 10 offensive players. They said
Yeah.
we could set a record tonight for most offensive players taken in a round.
Wow.
Dead silence.
just waiting for the pick to come in, man. This is
I
great.
tell you what, Matt, this is working out just like 3 years ago,
It feels like it, man. That's what I'm worried about.
doesn't it?
I just hope they
Only-
trade back this time instead of taking the corner.
The only
Anything
person we're
but-
missing in here is Jerry Murr. You know,
Where are you at, Jerry? Get up in here right now.
he's watching.
So we can see the look of defeat again once we take Quinion Mitchell. I'm just kidding.
Dude, I will leave the stream instantly if that happens.
Yeah, we
I
may
really-
just end the stream for the night.
I'm really hoping they do. I'm really hoping they trade back.
Yeah.
Jets are picking at 11.
Well, what are they
Yep.
doing?
Taking so long with this pick.
The pick is Rappaport is saying the pick is in, but we don't know who yet.
Dude.
So they did draft. They didn't trade back, is what it's saying.
No, they're staying
Fashanu.
there. They're staying there.
It's Fashanu.
If that's the pick, that's wonderful.
Yep, it's Fashanu.
That's
Oh
wonderful.
yeah, there it is.
All right.
All right.
Boys, we're
Oh,
here.
hell.
Broncos on the clock,
What are we
guys.
doing?
All right.
All right, Brock Bowers, do it. You can't pass on him here.
Brock Bowers.
You can't pass on Brock Bowers here. You just can't do it.
I agree. We can
Unless
get back later.
Unless
Or we
I mean,
have to figure out how to
Unless
get back.
Bo
to-
Nix is Sean Payton's guy, it doesn't matter. If he's
That's
his
it
guy,
right
he's
here.
not gonna-
That's if he is. You know.
that's what I'm saying. If he is Sean Payton's guy, if that's the guy Sean Payton wanted,
Right. Then you take him here.
I just
Right.
hope they don't take him out of.
I hope it's not a fear pick.
I swear to goodness gracious, and I'm gonna go take a nap.
oh my God. Why is it? I don't get this. It says the Broncos needs a quarterback, receiver, center, edge, and corner. I'm like, they don't need a corner.
It's just because they're unproven. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Levi Wallace has
Right.
been spotty. Riley Moss really hasn't had a chance. McMillan, while he's been here, it's been better, but I mean,
Yeah.
it started off inconsistent. He's incredibly young. We don't know if these guys are sustainable.
Exactly.
Trade back. I'm refreshing.
Trade back
Twitter.
or Bo Nix here or Brock Bowers. What do you guys think?
I say
think
trade
you
back.
here.
Trade
You
back.
want to trade back? See, if it's Brock Bowers, I'll be happy. I will be happy if it's Brock Bowers. If it comes down to it, it's either Brock Bowers or trade back for me.
Well, if it's Brock Bowers, does that tell you that Zach Wilson may be his dude?
No, I think that there is a chance for them to get somebody else.
Well, yeah,
I
you're
wouldn't-
going to pick up somebody
yeah.
else like a Rattler. Or
I think it's
somebody.
Rattler, yeah.
Yeah. Please don't be Bo Nix. Yeah.
I mean, I'll live with it. I'll live with it.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. I'll be okay with it. I won't cry. I'll be
Oh, I'm
fine.
not
I mean,
gonna
hey, it's
cry
a
either.
quarterback. It'll be a quarterback. We have a future.
Right.
It is what it is.
That's what I think people are going to be excited about. If you get Brock Bowers, people are like, oh, cool, Brock Bowers, but that still doesn't solve the biggest need. You trade back, I think people will be happy. It's like, okay, one more pick, but
Watch.
what are we
We're
doing
going
at
to get a
quarterback?
team to break the offensive run.
Don't
Yeah.
say that. Don't say that.
Say
We're
break
going to
the
take
offensive
like
run.
the fourth-rated edge rusher.
Hey, if they took Latu, I'd be okay too.
And
We're
Jerry-
going to go to a commercial
Jerry's-
as soon as the pick is in.
Jerry's comparing Bo Nix to Mac Jones.
I don't like that.
I wouldn't go that far.
Come on.
I think McCarthy was his guy, and I think that's why Minnesota jumped up there.
Mm-hmm.
They knew Denver was trying to get up there.
Well, yeah, but I agree with that to an extent because I think that Sean Payton probably liked McCarthy more than Bo Nix, but it's like, what's their draft board look like? What's their big board look like?
Right. Well, I doubt they were like right on top of each other, McCarthy and Bo Nix.
Yeah,
No.
but after McCarthy, who was after him? Was it
Probably-
Brock Bowers? Was it Trey
Probably
back?
Brock Bowers or one of the edge rushers or something. Who knows? But and this is where if Brock Bowers isn't your guy, you got to trade out of here.
Yeah.
Pick up some more draft capital. I know that the Eagles want to come up. The Steelers want to come up. Steelers, and we were talking about it with Travis, Matt. Steelers might be a good candidate where you could trade back with them, give them Cortland Sutton as well, or maybe even Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Being that Higgins wants out of Cincinnati.
Just waiting.
Yeah, I know, man. All right, lock in your final pick. What they're doing right here before we see it on the PFF board.
All right.
Bo Nix, 12.
All
I'm
right.
saying trade back.
All right,
Brock
what
Bowers.
are you saying? I'm gonna say Brock Bowers.
Brock
as well.
Bowers.
I would be okay with any of those three outcomes, though.
I mean, I will too.
I would also be okay if it was Latu.
Bo Nix. It's Bo Nix.
Yes!
Bo Nix.
Yes!
Bo Nix.
Yes!
Well, we got our quarterback, guys.
And it's Bo Nix.
Freaking Bo Nix. Let's go, baby. Go.
Well, we know Jerry Murr's not happy because he thinks Bo Nix is Mac Jones.
Wow. That means the Broncos were scared that they would not be able to move back and get Nix.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
God, yes.
Wow
Okay, I'm
is
good. I can
right.
for the rest of the night. I'm happy.
Eddie, you nailed it. You nailed it, Eddie. Before the show,
Sean
we
Payton,
asked.
I
He
told
said
you,
they're
he's
taking Bo Nix at 12.
I don't think the Penners or Sean Payton are going to be that patient. They want to win now, and they got to get their guy of the future.
mhm.
Oh, I agree. We have to get our guy of the future. I just didn't know if they really love Bo Nix that much. I mean, my concern about him is the concerns about his arm strength.
Well, I mean, but you also got to think
That's
about
why I
it.
like him with Sean Payton because he's good with those medium to short routes over the
Well,
middle.
right. You still have to be able to stretch defenses and throw outside the numbers. And if you can't do it, that just shrinks the area that defenders need to defend. So
Yeah.
Also, I don't think they were going to go into the season without one. Only for the simple fact, even if they would have went with Zach Wilson and what's his name, Jared Stidham on the roster, there's no way that they were going to be in the top 5 next year to get one of those top quarterbacks. With Sean Payton running things, no way.
So let me ask the question now, Des. I'm going to start with you. Day one starter. Who is it? Bo Nix, Jared Stidham, or Zach Wilson? Who's your starter day one?
Bo Nix.
Bo
Bo
Nix.
Nix.
Matt?
Yeah. Bo Nix.
It's Bo Nix.
It's Bo Nix and Eddie. I'm assuming you're thinking the same.
Nope. I said this
No.
earlier. I think they're going to give him some time on the bench to learn a little bit because I do agree with you guys that he's still kind of a raw, kind of a prospect.
I heard he's smart
But
as
he's
heck,
good.
though, man. I heard he's smart.
But no, he is. I'll give you that. I don't think he'll sit the entire season. Maybe 4 or 5 games, and they're going to Sean Payton's going to be like, all right, put him in.
Well, you know who's really flipping out right now? It's Cecil Lamb.
Who's that?
Cecil Lamb.
I remember
Cecil
watching it
Lammey
the other day.
Cecil Lammey is not happy.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Zach start, and maybe depending on how he does, if he sort of struggles and you got Bo Nix and you bring him in middle of the season.
Facts.
I just don't think you take a quarterback here when you had impact players on the board that would have been day one starter.
And he's not your starter.
And we're going to just play this guy that we pretty much swapped for nothing. or
Right.
this guy we've signed for nothing. That's not something that they're going to do. The best way to learn, I think, you also got to take, exactly how the Colts did it. Anthony Richardson's a way bigger project than what Bo Nix is, and he was playing until he got hurt. You learn best on the field. You're not going to sit. You don't learn how fast the defense is coming at you sitting on the bench.
Right.
And I got to pop this up because Jerry just corrected me, and I do remember this. Cecil did have us taking Bo. It was Penix who he said is not a first-round talent. It would not be taken in the first round. So
I'm so
Heading-
freaking
yeah.
pumped, dude.
all right, hey,
into-
Eddie, did you just order your Bo Nix jersey?
I'm going to here in the next couple of weeks.
I could just go. I'm going to drive to Dove Valley and go pick it up tomorrow. They said it'll be there.
What number is he going to be?
Who knows? 55. No, what 1 through 19 is taken, I think, right now.
Tim's not,
There was-
is it?
There was a stat about it. Yeah, 10 got taken by Zach Wilson today.
Who's 8?
8 is Jarrett Stidham.
Well, Jarrett Stidham's going to be gone.
Well, not right now.
Well, right.
He'll get
But
through
maybe you
camp.
just go to him and say, hey, dude, you got to give up 8, man. Because
I mean-
wasn't Bo Nix 8 at college?
No, he was 10.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he's 10?
Yeah, he was
I
10.
thought he
Stidham
was
was 8.
there.
Stidham was 8. He was 10. But no, I definitely think
No, at
this
Oregon, though.
At Oregon, he was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, heading into tonight, Sean Payton has never taken a quarterback in the first round.
Oh, yeah, he was 10 at Oregon.
Now, with that said, this puts a lot of pressure on Sean Payton to, win.
It
this
does.
game.
This is his guy. This is
You know what
his
I'm
guy.
gonna hate? You know what I will hate?
What's that?
Brock Bowers in silver and black if they take it.
Oh man.
We don't need another top 5 tight end to tear us up for another
No, we
20
don't.
years.
Especially with the linebacking core we have. They couldn't cover a 6-year-old out there playing tight end.
I just hope this. I truly hope that this was the pick all along, and that this was not a panic pick.
I just
I-
don't.
I think it was.
I don't see George Payton as a panic type guy, and I don't see Sean Payton that way either.
They were comping Bo Nix earlier in the offseason to Drew Brees. So I do agree with that. He is.
He's the best. He's the best fit out of the quarterback class. I will agree with that 100%.
So
And I've preached it over and over. Schematic fit is the biggest thing for Sean Payton. This is a scheme fit for him. So we'll see where this goes.
They just announced it on TV, and freaking Broncos country on there went nuts. Okay, I can sit comfortable the rest of the night. I'm happy. I really am.
well, you nailed it.
You did, yeah. He did nail it though.
Just announcing it right now on TV.
Comparison to a Tagovailoa.
That's not a great comparison. I'm just kidding.
No.
Well, his only issue is staying healthy.
No, he does not.
No, yeah, Tua has issues staying healthy. So
Yeah.
I
Either
mean,
way,
I
I understand Brock Bowers is still on the board for the Raiders to take, but they got to be ticked. I really strongly believe the Raiders wanted a QB this year.
Oh, they had to have. They
Well,
can't be going into the
actually,
season with
I'm
Aiden
gonna,
O'Connell.
I'll play devil's advocate. I don't think necessarily the hype for quarterback was as big as it was there. I think they liked Penix. I think they liked Daniels, but maybe they already knew they weren't really in real contention for him.
Right.
But Aiden O'Connell was actually a quarterback that Sean Payton actually really liked last year. He really liked him, and I mean we've seen Sean's eyes for talent when it comes to quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's a good point.
I don't count out Aiden. I don't count out Aiden O'Connell.
This good point by Jerry here. He sees the Drew Brees similarities, and Bo Nix is more athletic than Drew Brees.
Yep.
Dude,
Brock
my
Bowers.
phone.
Brock freaking Bowers is going to
Damn.
the
Oh, my
Raiders.
goodness.
They weren't worried at all. They weren't worried about a quarterback at all.
Up right now.
They just, if you want to be honest, they probably just got the number 1 offensive talent in this draft, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty steep. I don't know.
I
One.
no, he could do everything. He's practically, I mean, Travis
Yeah.
Kelce impact. If his comp is that good.
Yeah, but see, they might have, honestly, like you said, Matt, the best, offensive guy in the draft, but who they got throwing to him?
I'm high on Aiden O'Connell. I was high on Aiden O'Connell last year. I think he has the potential to be. I mean, we've seen these guys get developed. I think they're actually sitting in a good position right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was all the needs they needed, by the
Didn't
way?
they have?
They needed
They needed a million things according to PFF.
Yeah, I know they need a secondary back.
Isn't Waller still there?
No, he went to the
No,
Giants.
Waller's in the
Oh,
Giants.
that's right. That's
Actually,
right.
he's not even technically with the Giants. I don't know if he's talking about being a free agent or retiring. I think is what I heard.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors that he's been having some mental health stuff going on.
And the Raiders have Gardner Minshew too, as well. They have Gardner.
You got to think about that too.
Yeah.
Gardner finds a way to win dirty, man.
Yeah.
They're not in such a bad
Yeah,
position
That,
as
that's
Broncos.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably need some receiver depth, but you get that in later rounds.
They may be in
It's
the
stacked.
Shedeur Sanders sweepstake for next year.
Yeah.
I mean, and the Raiders don't have a terrible team. I mean, the running back room is thin right now, but there's a lot of good backs that are going to be taken later in the draft. Receivers, it's an incredibly deep class. Tackle, it's a deep class. They've got two really good edge rushers. I mean, they got Tyree Wilson that they took early last year. They already got I don't know. I'm drawing a blank
Max
on his
Crosby.
name now. There you go. I always want to call him Trent Murphy, and I don't know why.
Hey guys, has any defensive players gone
Nope.
off the board yet?
No.
No.
0.
So what
And
are we, 12, 13.
13 picks in, and there's not a defensive player picked yet.
This,
You think New Orleans goes defense here?
No, I think we see defense will be the first pick. Will be the Jaguars.
Wow.
Yeah, the Saints need offensive line help
They need and wide
or
receivers.
receiver.
Yeah.
Maybe Brian Thomas Jr. here to the Saints.
The Saints are going to be listening to offers per rap sheet right now.
Oh damn.
So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Man,
Who do you think could trade up here if it's with the Saints?
Probably Philly still, because Quentin Mitchell's still on the board.
Or Cincinnati may want to get ahead of Indianapolis to grab a receiver.
Yeah.
Do you really think any receivers at 14 is going to be worthy of that pick?
Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh,
Or,
yeah, I forgot.
or the guy out of Texas too.
I don't know. I think the Eagles trade up somewhere. Like you say, the Jaguars would be the first to take a defensive player. I think the Eagles trade up and take Mitchell, corner.
Yeah, I'm shocked that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles can almost sit still. I don't think there's really anybody that needs a cornerback.
The Eagles have definitely been linked to Mitchell for sure.
Yeah.
God, I still cannot believe we took Knicks. I seriously was thinking they were going to trade back too.
I hope it works out.
I believe it will. I think Sean Payton's going to we saw what Russell Wilson was in 2022. He wasn't very good, and then Sean Payton got the most of them. I think he'll do the same for Bo Nix. If anybody can fix him, it's Sean. Or if anybody can make Bo Nix into a superstar, it's Sean Payton.
Hey Matt, I got a question for you.
I'm listening.
So, say Philly is interested in a defensive player, probably cornerback. You think they're thinking trade up?
That was one of the teams I was keeping an eye on for moving up. Quinion Mitchell's supposedly been really high on their board. Surprisingly, he's still here. The other teams you could look at trying to move up. You could be looking at the Rams trying to move up. There's been a lot of talk that they would really like Byron Murphy out of Texas. They did just lose Aaron Donald. Dolphins could be an interesting name to keep an eye on here. They did just lose Christian Wilkins. Maybe they want to come up and jump a team for Byron Murphy. Man, I'm still just stuck on this Raiders pick. I hate it for us so much.
I
And
wonder-
they have Mayer as well as their tight end
Oh, they're
Dude,
stacked.
that they took last year.
They got
Yeah.
they got Mayer out of Notre Dame, and
Yeah.
I wonder if the Broncos decided to take Bo Nix at 12 so that a team like the Rams wouldn't trade up.
that's the one thing I hope you wouldn't do.
Right.
Like I really just hope
Reach,
that
yeah.
if this was your guy, this was your guy. And like I said, I think it goes back to it. Screw quarterback competition. Screw this. Yeah, you're having a quarterback competition to see who QB2 is. If I'm investing practically a top 10 pick in you almost, you better be starting.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
This isn't Jordan Love who got taken at pick 20 something. This is a top half pick.
Yeah, it's not like he'd be sitting behind Peyton Manning.
Yeah, this is your guy you expect to come in and battle for your day one starter position.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
But the Saints have decided
unless
to pick here.
Zach Wilson just comes in and blows everyone's doors off, I think it's Bo Nix's job to lose.
It's got to be.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Bo Nix starts the season. I don't know if that's going to happen. I just feel like Sean Payton's going to sit for a couple of games at least.
Yeah. Per Adam Schefter, I think it was like 7 minutes ago on Twitter, he was saying that when the Broncos held the private workout with Bo Nix, they sent him 3 packets of offensive play installation. And the next morning, they worked out in the classroom on the whiteboard, and he actually crushed it, per sources of the Broncos. So
Yeah.
he can retain information. And Sean Payton wants a guy that can retain
And
information.
that's what Sean Payton wants. That's one thing.
Yeah,
he said
it's all
is
about
Russell
scheme
Wilson-
fit.
He said Russell Wilson could not process the offense.
No, he
No,
cannot process the
that was
offense.
the downfall on Russell Wilson. So
You remember the
And I
wristband that he had
remember-
to wear?
yeah,
Yeah, well, I remember too, like earlier in this offseason, they were talking. Someone was talking about it, saying they only had like 9 plays they can run on offense because of Russ.
Yeah.
It
Saints
was-
pick is in.
Let's
Talisi Fuaga,
Yeah,
tackle.
tackle from
Oh,
Oregon.
going to the Saints. Let's go.
Yeah. No, it makes
So
sense.
another offensive player off the board.
Like I said, then here comes your receiver. I think this guy
Both
right
his own
here
receiver. This
has
either,
to be.
This is either the guy from Texas or Brian Thomas Jr.
It's got to be Brian. I mean, they do got Pittman. They did just bring him, sign him to an extension. So I mean, this could be a place where you want to get that.
They may go
that
cornerback
shiftier
here
guy.
as well.
I just don't. I don't see it. I mean, it could be. I mean, they get whoever it is right now. They get the top defensive player on their board
Yep.
at this point. That's the. I guess that's the selling point. Travis is not happy with Bo Nix at 12. It was the one thing he did not want to happen.
Who?
Travis Wakeman.
Oh, no, he did
Yeah.
not. He was.
He did
was-
not feel the value for Bo Nix was there at 12 at all.
And I really didn't either. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is. If Peyton believes that it's his guy, Peyton's the guy making the choice. So
Hey, yeah, no, amen.
If it's Peyton's guy, and we all know quarterback is the most important position in football, you have to get that because it doesn't matter if you have the best corner in the league, the best tight end in the draft. If you ain't got a quarterback that can deliver the ball, or run the scheme correctly, you're not going to win games.
Exactly.
Let me see.
Dallas Turner. That's a good pickup for them.
for who?
The Saints.
Dallas Turner.
Oh, wait. Sorry, my bad.
No, they
Okay.
took Talisi Fuaga, tackle.
Yeah.
They had Dallas Turner up there talking about him, and the Saints were on the board. I thought they took him.
Yeah, I think everybody's sort of shocked that Dallas Turner's still sitting there.
Do any of you believe he can beat Mahomes?
Why Russell Wilson did.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like if Sean Payton can beat Patrick Mahomes and that Chiefs defense last year with Russell Wilson, I think he could do it with Bo Nix.
But I mean, we also got to think about, how much help did that defense give?
I don't expect
Russell
Bo
Wilson.
Nix to come in and sweep the division in year one.
Well,
Oh.
who's the main defensive player
No.
we lost?
No.
No, the answer is no.
Who
Not
can
right
beat
now.
the Chiefs in the
No,
playoff
no.
game?
No.
Right now, I think you also have to look at it is, this team,
This team's not even built to make the playoffs.
they have good talent on the surface, but they got to find a way to continue to stack it. That's why I was really hoping for the trade back.
Right. I as well. And that's one thing Travis and I talked about was
Yeah.
the trade back to get more picks, because we got holes all over this roster.
Yeah.
But I think that's why they were going to take their quarterback this year, because I don't think Sean Payton thinks that they're going to be in high enough position next year to get a quarterback, and they don't want to trade assets next year. And they're going to have close to $100 million in cap space next offseason.
Which
So
they can really
you'll have
work
all your
on.
draft picks back. You'll have
Oh,
a
yeah, we
buttload
can
of
load
money.
this team up next year.
Yeah.
We can definitely load this team up next year with free agents.
Yeah, because they'll have about almost $85 to $100 million in cap space next
Yeah.
year.
That's what I'm saying. Take Bo Nix this year. Get somebody said earlier, get his feet wet this year. Let him learn the system. That way you can go into 2025 with all that cap space. Russ is practically off the books. You got all your draft capital. In 2025, you compete.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, real quick, going through PFF, they have a pick grade per player right now, and I'll kind of go through that real quick with you guys. Rapid fire. Caleb Williams, very good. Jaden Daniels, average. Drake May, very good. Marvin Harrison Jr., elite. Joe Alt, very good. Malik Neighbors, very good. JC Latham, good. Michael Penix, below average. Roma Dunze, very good. JJ McCarthy, average. Olufashanu, good. And Bo Nix, below average.
Oh,
That's what they've hit with the grade so far.
Yep, and I think that's the value. That's the value of picking the guy at 12.
It's the quarterback inflation that's what really hurts the teams.
Right. But was Denver at a point where they had to do something?
They're at a point
No.
where they don't have
And
an option.
maybe a little bit of panic did set in,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been
Especially when
as
they
simple, yeah.
especially when they saw what Atlanta did,
Yeah,
and
I
grabbed Penix Jr. Maybe they said, "Hey guys, we can't take our chance. If he falls to us, we have to take him, even
But
though
I mean,
we
on the
really
sa-
didn't
yeah.
want to take him here."
To be on the brighter side, I mean, these guys are wrong quite often, just about as wrong as we are most of the time.
That's true.
No,
That's true.
I don't really trust PFF myself too much, but I mean, I understand it. I do. I've even said this. I do think Bo Nix was a reach, but if Sean Payton says he's the guy and Sean Payton can put him in the system and he works, then that's all that matters.
Right.
Yeah, I
Bo
think
Nix
the
is only
other
5 months younger than Zach Wilson. Like, what the heck?
yeah.
Now let me ask you guys this question: if Penix and Nix were both there at 12, who do you think who was higher on the board on Sean Payton's board?
Say that again.
Bo Nix.
If Bo Nix and Penix were both there at 12, who was higher on Sean Payton's board?
I'd say Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
Yeah. He's a better
He's on the
scheme
left
fit. That's
level.
what's important.
The scheme, exactly.
Over the last
Scheme.
couple of weeks, they were
Yeah.
talking about how Penix is probably higher up on Payton's draft board than Nix was, or
Yeah. I think when it comes down to it, it was more of a competition between Bo Nix and Spencer Rattler than anything else.
Yep.
you don't think JJ McCarthy was up there anywhere?
No,
No.
No.
I don't see him as a fit for Peyton's offense.
I don't either. I was just curious. I just want to know what your guys' opinions were.
I mean, that's why when we had all these people saying we want J.J. McCarthy, he's the guy. He won a championship at Michigan. Well, I don't care if he won a championship at Michigan. Does he fit the system? You know?
Right.
It's like
if the guy's
saying
not gonna-
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
we've already seen that Sean Payton is not going to change his offense. He wouldn't do it for a potential Hall of Fame quarterback. Why is he going to bring a rookie in here and change it up for him? You know? So
All
Bo
right.
Nix is the better fit.
Yeah.
Out of probably all 6 quarterbacks out there, he's probably the best fit.
Is there any chance?
Right.
Okay. Well, before the Colts lock in their pick, let's lock in who we think they're going. Where are
I
they
think they're
going, Dave?
Brian Thomas Jr.
All right. What about you, Des?
Same. The same.
Eddie, what about you?
I think the same.
Okay. I think they go receiver.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if it's the guy from
I'm gonna
Texas
go.
either, though.
Which one though? Xavier Worthy? Does he come flying up the board? There's Roman Wilson, who was there, said we're coming up the board.
No,
But
what's Mitchell? What's the guy's name?
AD
from,
Mitchell.
yeah,
AD
from-
Mitchell.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna go AD Mitchell.
Uh-oh.
Colts got a defensive player.
Oh,
Oh, they did Latu. Wow.
they went edge.
Damn.
First defensive player comes off.
Damn. 6'5",
That
259
is a
pounds.
shocker there.
Oh my gosh.
He's my favorite defensive
Shocker.
player. That's a great pick
Yeah.
there.
It's a good pickup, but I think it's a shocker for their needs. You know, and so this is the second sort of shocker. All right, I'm going to jump out for a minute. I'll be back, guys.
All right.
All right.
So
Wow.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now do we see a jump in defensive players?
Maybe.
Seattle, Jacksonville, Cincy.
this, where are you guys thinking the Seahawks are going?
I don't know. I don't really know what the Seahawks need.
I think they go interior offensive lineman.
Yeah. Especially to protect Geno Smith.
That tells me right now Sutton's definitely not going nowhere because they're going to want to give Bo Nix somebody to throw to.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him go somewhere still. I really wouldn't. This is a deep receiver class. That's likely where I see Denver going in the third round. I wouldn't be surprised to see, maybe them even move up to get another guy that they like.
Right.
Keon Coleman's right there, very similar play style. If he doesn't go in the first round. Oh, they're saying Denver reached a little. I heard it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did. But it does. Hey, no one's going to care about the Broncos reaching if Bo Nix is that guy.
As long as he does good.
Yeah. Remember Sean Payton missed out on Patrick Mahomes.
I would have been upset. I mean, I wouldn't have been upset. I would have been fine with whatever the Broncos did. If they wanted to trade up for one of the big four, or they wanted to trade back, I mean, because I know even if they would have traded back, they probably would have still picked up a quarterback in the later round.
Facts.
I'm just saying, Bo Nix was my guy. Watching his tape this offseason, he fits perfectly with Sean Payton's system.
He's been the guy. I mean, he's the guy that I said would be the best fit for it. I just hope. I just hope the value's there.
Right.
You got to get ready to go to work here in a second, huh, Des?
Yeah, I'm about to get ready to go to work. But it's definitely nice talking to you guys, man, for sure. I'm going to the spring game tomorrow too, on Saturday actually.
That's what you were saying, yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's gonna be exciting. Did you get some tickets to that fashion show or whatever I heard about?
Yeah, I think they do like a talent show. I think tonight, and I think they do the Lil Wayne concert. I think on Saturday. I've got tickets to that too. Yeah.
So okay, you're gonna go. So you're gonna go do both.
Yeah.
All right. That's gonna be fun, man.
Definitely. The Nuggets play tonight too. Definitely.
Yeah, they're getting ready to start.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
15 or 20 minutes.
Hey, they're beating the Lakers.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely be in the Lakers. But
are they gonna get the sweep? Is the question.
Yes.
No, I say one game at least.
Gentleman sweep.
But yeah,
start sweeping.
Right. But I gotta go, guys. But we gotta do it again soon, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
Anytime. Bye.
Later.
Awesome. Now there was two. Now there was three. Graham, you're here too. Then there was three.
I am.
Dude, my phone is just going off the hook right now, even still.
Yeah, so is mine.
I've actually been refreshing Twitter. I don't have notifications on, but I did just turn them on, so I don't have to keep doing that.
Like I got people I used to work with at my old job. Like I use Twitter, so I would always, a bunch of my buddies there were Bronco fans, of course, because we live in Denver, but they were always coming up to me asking me the latest news. I'm like, dude, just go look at Twitter. That's where I get all my information from. Now, here's a question. What do you think the Broncos do tomorrow night with pick 76? You think they trade back or stay there?
I think they move up.
I think that they should probably move up.
What do you want them to move up for is the question. Or edge? Defensive line?
Wide receiver.
You think they're going to trade Sutton?
No, not tomorrow.
Nah.
I mean, just in the future. Like before.
I mean, it really depends. I think there's a couple teams to keep an eye on. Pittsburgh could be another team to keep an eye on. I mean, there could be a guy here that Denver still really likes that maybe slides out of this first round, early second. I mean, Sean Payton, when he has guys that he likes, he has no problem being aggressive if he can make it happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point, let's say we see, there's already been somewhat of a run on receivers. Does Pittsburgh maybe like Cortland Sutton instead of taking a receiver here, and they give up a second for that pick 76 into Sutton tomorrow? So, it may not be a crazy move to move up. So it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like.
Albright is saying that Nix is quarterback 3 on the Broncos board, which is not.
Albright.
Who was
Nice
2 and
surprise.
1?
What?
Who was 1 and 2?
It was Williams and Daniels.
Well, duh.
Oh,
Those
wow.
Yeah,
guys
that's
are
just
out of reach.
Yeah.
They're 1 and 2 on everybody's board.
True.
most likely.
Basically, they got the guy they wanted because they kind of knew that Daniels or Caleb Williams weren't going to be there.
That's just
Even close.
That's just clickbait from Albright. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Clickbait. All right,
That's all
Seahawks.
it's coming out. Just
Where are they
trying to
going?
start and saying, the
Where are we
Seahawks,
going? Yeah, where are they going?
Defense.
I can see them going interior offensive line.
That's exactly where I'm going. I think they stay right there in Washington. They got Fatanu over there. I think that's where they go.
What
What are
Broncos
the Ottawa Rough Riders doing?
The Ottawa Rough Riders.
Graham, the Ottawa Rough Riders are on the board. Who are they picking, man?
I don't know.
You watch CFL?
I don't.
Does anybody watch CFL?
I
So
have
there-
zero interest in CFL.
So there was history made today, gentlemen.
What's that?
This was the fewest overall picks for 6 quarterbacks to be selected in NFL
yeah.
draft history.
Yeah, that's not surprising. 6 and 12.
That's insane. 50% of the picks through pick 12 were quarterbacks.
That's because quarterbacks are overvalued. Overvalued and overpaid.
Insanity.
They're overdrafted.
Hey, all the other quarterbacks in the draft can bust. As long as Bo Nix plays well, I don't care.
Jeez.
No, I don't care either. I mean, Brian Murphy, interior defensive line.
Hey, you know
We're
what?
wrong,
What does that say for Draymond Jones over there, huh?
right?
Where was he last
He's
year
getting
talking
back on
all
the
that
cheap here in
smack?
Denver.
Yeah.
He was talking all that smack around last
Yep.
time. I mean, hey, hasn't
All right,
done
so
nothing since left.
So our run on defensive players has started. Do we see our first cornerback go off the board here to Jacksonville?
This is where I would see. I think
Quentin
it's
Mitchell?
either Dallas,
Yeah.
Quinion Mitchell or Dallas Turner. It's one or the other. One or the other.
Because there's 3 pretty good corners still sitting out there with Mitchell, Terry and Arnold, and then Kool-Aid from Alabama. So there's 3 decent corners sitting right there.
I've seen several mock drafts that had Kool-Aid like at the very end of the first.
That's what I've seen too. So what's Kool-Aid's last name? McKinstry or something?
McKinstry.
Kool-Aid McKinstry. I don't think he makes it tonight.
You don't think he makes it where?
No, he
Matt?
doesn't. He's not. Kool-Aid's not taken tonight, in my opinion.
You think he's a round 2 guy?
Yeah, I think he slides, especially with Quinion Mitchell. You got Quinion Mitchell. You got Wiggins. You got
That's true. You got
Well,
Arnold.
Wiggins, I forgot about him.
Yeah, you got a bunch of people here.
Well, these guys need to hurry up because I need to go watch the Nuggets put a beat down on the Lakers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I
too.
don't think we're gonna catch it in the next 14 minutes if we're planning to cover the rest.
Probably not.
I mean, who's
Well-
left on the board? On the what are the teams left that need to draft?
We
How
have
many?
17 through 31 or 32 still. So we still have quite a bit of picks to go. We're barely halfway point, and it's been on for roughly 2 hours. So
Yeah.
Jody
gonna be a
Moncrief's
while.
in here puking.
I love it. Bo Nix, like I said, was my favorite quarterback to take for Sean Payton's offense. I just hope the value is there at 12.
Jody, run out and get your Bo Nix jersey, man.
I'm probably gonna go pick it up tomorrow, to be honest.
You gonna mail
If
it to Jody?
If they get it tomorrow, I will drive to Craig and hand deliver it myself, Jody.
Well, they need to figure out a number for the dude first, man.
Well, Damani Lee said as long as the pick picked his number, they would have him possibly as soon as tomorrow. That's what Damani Lee said this morning or this afternoon.
Late birthday present for me, guys. I gotta go out and get my Bo Nix jersey.
Is 9 taken?
Here, I
Who's
believe
nine on that team?
I'll double check right now. Hold on.
Man, Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams out in Seattle.
Yeah, that's going to be a nasty combo. So they don't have all of the numbers updated yet. So what number were you saying we were looking for here?
9. Either 8
Not-
or 9.
Is 10 taken?
So Riley Dixon is 9. Will Lutz is 16. PJ Locke is 6. Surtan is 2. Traymon Smith is 1. Cooper 0.
Jody, why are we going to rehash Russell Wilson? Let's let it die, man. The guy's
Let it
gone.
die.
Who's
Jalen
who's
Virgil 15. Sutton 14. Reynolds
Who's
13.
Vikings
That-
are on the clock.
That is Zach Wilson.
Okay. And 8 is
It's
Stidham.
Stidham now.
Stidham.
It's Stidham. And then somebody changed to 4 too. I forgot who it
And
was.
Browning changed to 5.
Here,
I would have to say maybe we don't have
The
a 13.
Vikings-
Do we? Or
The
12?
Vikings made a trade and are on the clock.
Viking. Ooh, here's Quinion Mitchell. This is Quinion Mitchell right here.
You think so?
Oh, they traded up with the Jags?
Jags
Yeah.
acquire pick 23 and 167.
Okay, so Will Lutz is 3. Hold on. I'll give you all the new numbers here to get it through. Okay, Lutz
Maybe
is
they
3.
make Smith.
That's 4. Browning is 5. Stidham's 8. Dixon's 9. Yeah, all of the numbers are taken. So someone's
might
gonna have
make,
to change.
What's his name? Smith that wears 1. They might make him change.
Yeah, I'm sure some conversations are being had now so they can get those Bo Nix jerseys out there.
I have to. So who
Bo
are we
Nix, Aaron
saying?
Warren.
Who are we saying the Vikings taking right here?
I don't know. What do they need? What are their needs?
I'm gonna say that they're going. I'm gonna say defensive back here, one way or another, either cornerback or safety.
Yeah, I'd say corner or edge, maybe.
I'm
They
gonna
got
say
that.
Quinion Mitchell.
Dallas Turner.
Yeah, that's
Is
true.
that who it
Dallas
is?
Turner's still out there.
Yeah, and so Jody was not talking about Russell Wilson. He was talking
Yeah, I see
about
that.
Zach Wilson. And I mean, we're not going to know till we see him in a pro style offense with Sean Payton and see what either one of them can do.
Right.
That's just kind of where we're at. Bo Nix can utilize the middle of the field. If we go back and we look at his stats, there's lots of screen game. Well, he doesn't really throw. Oregon doesn't utilize the deep threat very often. He's going to utilize average depth of route, 8 yards or less, a lot of quick slants, a lot of drag routes. It's going
Dallas
to fit
Turner.
what he does.
Minnesota
Wow.
takes Dallas Turner.
I mean, that's a great pick.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like I said earlier, though, Sean Payton's going to have him throwing short, intermediate routes, timing routes over the middles,
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to do some driving the ball down the field. You can't do.
That's my thing. I think Nix will probably throw deep down the field probably about a couple times a game.
What do the Bengals do here?
Well, they need
They need somebody to protect Joe Burrow is what they need.
Let's see. What does it say they need? The Bengals need need tight end, defensive line, interior line, edge, corner, wide receiver, and offensive tackle.
The Vikings gave up a first-round pick, fifth-round pick, 2025 third, and 2025 fourth.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Amarius Mims from Georgia go off the board here.
I mean, the run on tackles kind of happen. Unless they look at Fatanu as a tackle, this could be another place. Maybe this is where we see Jerzon Newton come off the board. Bengals could also maybe try to trade back for a team.
Newton out of Illinois would be a good pick right here.
Yeah, Johnny Newton would make sense here. I think you would want to look at tackle for sure.
I'm looking at I think it's CBS NFL. They got the Broncos with Bo Nix a C-, and they got Brock Bowers to the Raiders as C.
Yeah, well, yeah, we don't need to listen to them then.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
Well, they're probably just saying that because of need. I mean, if they had Mara already in Las Vegas, did they really need to get Bowers at that point? I mean, they had a top tight end already, so I think they're just grading it on their draft to their need. Bo Nix, I mean, a lot of people are saying it's an overdraft,
Yeah.
And I would think that a lot of people would agree with that. I wanted Nix at 12, and I still think that's an overreach. But once again, it's Sean Payton's guy. You got to get your guy. You can't keep kicking the can down the road like the Broncos did for so many years. You just got to take a risk and hope it works.
Right. Yeah. And that's fine. I mean, Peyton likes the screen passes too. He likes to run that in the extension of the running game. So I don't see an issue with that, as long as they're effective.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So now I see we're going to have a months-long battle with Jody Moncrief over Bo Nix now.
I'll happily go to town with that guy. I'll debate him all day.
Everybody says that Bo Nix was the best fit for Sean Payton's system. Of this,
and that's all that matters. No one hearing, like, I even said this, if they were to trade up and trade Surtain, I'm like, yeah, that would have sucked at the time, but if the quarterback that the Broncos get winds up winning you games and turns into that guy, or even just an above average guy that helps you win games occasionally, no one's going to care about the picks, there's Surtain, or even now with taking Bo Nix to 12, no one's going to care about this if he turns out to be the guy. And even Caleb Williams, he could turn out to be a bust. We don't know.
Amarius Mims went to the Bengals.
Smart.
The Rams are on the clock.
You think the Rams were doing a smoke screen saying they wanted Bo Nix?
You
think that was true?
No, because
man.
I honestly, I don't even know if it was so much Bo Nix, but just a quarterback. I think the Rams need to start looking for a replacement for Stafford. I mean, Stafford's been beat up. He's getting older. How much longer does he want to play?
How old is he now? 36
He's getting
or
up there,
37?
and he's had
Yeah,
some
like
pretty significant injuries where he even thought about retiring.
that's what I'm saying. You think the Rams might have called the Broncos
Yeah,
and were like trying to maybe offer them the King's ransom?
he's 36, so it's a guy.
Do you think that happened, David?
What's that?
Do you think the Rams maybe called the Broncos and were trying to offer him like a King's ransom to move up to 12 to get Nix?
I don't know. Maybe, who knows? I mean, I don't think they have a super lot to offer, though. Actually,
Yeah,
we're
because
in
this was
bed
their
with
first
Peyton.
round
So,
pick in like what, 5 years?
hey, I don't understand Jody's comment. We're in bed with Peyton, so I have to trash Nick's work.
Don't worry about it. I think.
Do you mean hope?
Huh?
Is that what you mean, Jody? Do you mean hope?
You have to. Like, we
So,
didn't bring Sean
I'm
Payton
okay
here
with
just
Bo
to be
Nix.
a
Bo Nix is a quick processor. That was Russ's thing. Russ could not process the offense quickly enough. That was his downfall. I think he just had issues. Oh, trust. I think what he's trying to say is trust.
Okay.
So, but there you go, Jody.
Yeah, but look at
I-
Russell Wilson last year. I think he was like the third worst at getting rid of the ball. I think only people behind were like
look at all the
Justin
sacks
Fields
that
and
Russell
somebody else.
Wilson took by trying to extend plays. Bo
Yep.
Nix is not going to do that. Bo Nix will get the ball out. Russell
He'll get it out within 2 seconds.
Russell wanted to cook, and he wanted to hold on to the ball longer and try to make a bigger play instead of just running the offense the way Peyton wanted him to run it. Bo Nix is going to come in. He's a young guy. He's not going to sit there and go head to head with Sean Payton and say, no, I'm going to do it my way, because you know where he'll end up. Okay, well, you do it your end at the end of the bench. You can do it your way. So I like Bo Nix. He's accurate. He gets the ball out quick. The only downfalls I've ever heard on him is his ability to drive the ball down the field. But when he played at Auburn, he drove the ball down the field. It just wasn't Oregon's offense.
Yeah.
Just
that
because they
is
didn't do it at Oregon doesn't mean he can't.
And that is true. Like, I went and I watched film from both of those teams that he played with. Yeah. Oregon just didn't want to push the ball down the field. It was basically what Sean Payton kind of does without, the deep ball. Short, intermediate passes over the middle, timing routes. The receiver's going to come open.
Let your receivers, run with the ball and, pick up some extra yards and stuff. That's a Sean Payton style offense. That's what they did at Oregon.
Yep. And I'm going to, I'll be on this pod at the end of the season if Bo Nix plays this year. And all these people, I even say that it's an overdraft, but I will eat my own words whenever Bo Nix is out there, looking like, I'm not going to say like Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, but he looks like a great, quarterback out there running the Sean Payton system. I'll happily eat my own words on that.
Right.
Saying he was an overdraft.
So, but I'm going to give a guy more than a year or two to develop.
Yeah, you got. I'd say at least 2.
And everybody says, why didn't you give Russell Wilson more than a year? Because Russell Wilson is a 12-year veteran, a potential Hall of Famer. You don't tell the guy, oh, okay, Russ, we're going to give you 3 years. You have to give Bo Nix at least 2 years, to see what he's worth.
And honestly, I would say, with us drafting him at 12 and him being somewhat of an overdraft, and I would say give him at least another year, 3 years at the most. You could see you could give him the first year, maybe he doesn't play well. Second year, you see some improvement. As long as you're seeing improvement each year, you're good.
Well, the nice thing is too, he's a first round pick, so you get that 5th-year option,
Yeah.
which is nice, So
I think that's why
unlike,
so many people in Broncos country were upset whenever the Drew Lock thing happened. It's like
and
you
he's
literally gave him one season, the COVID year, with a new system to where they couldn't even go out there and really practice.
right,
And you expect him to be like, Peyton Manning-esque or even just, I say Derek Carr, just,
right,
good.
yeah. People need to. Bronco country has been spoiled with John Elway and Peyton Manning. Has sort of set the bar so high, and we need to all realize that the likelihood of having guys like that again, are very low.
Yep.
But who knows? I mean, maybe Bo Nix turns into a Drew Brees type quarterback that can lead us to multiple Super Bowls.
Rams are on the clock.
They're still on the clock? Man, what the heck are they doing?
I am getting a late notification, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, because, I mean, Georgia picked Mims about 5 minutes ago. Maybe the Rams are looking at a trade out. Maybe they did. We're hoping that Bo Nix or Penix would slide down to him, and now they're looking to trade out. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that was 19, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Like I said earlier, what if the Rams called the Broncos and were like, "Hey, we'll give you this, this, and this to move up to 12 to get Bo Nix." Like, what if the Rams did give the Broncos, like offered the Broncos a king's ransom, but Sean Payton's like,
And
"No,
they may have-
not my guy here. I'm taking him."
Right. Yeah.
Better make sure that Bo Nix is the guy then.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think Sean Payton's a very smart man. I believe he thinks in his mind, and I trust him, that he can turn Bo Nix into the next Drew Brees.
Well, he's on the clock now. Sean Payton's on the clock.
Apparently, the Falcons told Kirk Cousins about 5 minutes before the pick that they're taking
Ooh,
Man,
5 minutes.
good.
how does Kirk Cousins feel about that?
Probably really crappy.
Hey, check his Twitter account. See if he has maybe Cortland Sutton throwing out some tweets for him or something.
Matt's back.
Matt, you hear that?
Tough, man. Like, I think, like, the Jets could have took a quarterback this year too, because I know this possibly Aaron Rodgers last year, but it's like, why would you want to take off your, starting QB, before the season even starts?
Yeah.
No,
What
Matt
did I
didn't hear
miss?
it. Apparently, Kirk Cousins was told about 5 minutes before the pick that they were taking Penix.
I mean, he's got to be. I would be a little frustrated.
Rams
are you
take
really
Jared Verse.
Who'd they take?
Verse.
Jared Verse?
Oh, yeah, they got to replace Aaron Donald.
Yeah, but Jared Verse is the edge, not the inside guy.
He can still get after the quarterback. If
Well,
they need
yeah,
him
he
to.
can get
You know
after
what
the
kind of defense
quarterback.
they run.
Yeah.
Oh man, like, but that's the thing too. Like, they only told him 5 minutes before they selected Penix. It's like, didn't they guarantee all his money or
Oh, yeah,
majority of
every
it?
single dime is like $180 million is guaranteed. Do you think Kirk Cousins really cares?
No, I mean,
I'd be like, all right, it's your
he's
guys'
probably
money.
still going to start. He's still going to start for him.
Well, yeah, there ain't no way Penix is starting.
Just comes
Unless
in
they're
and
just concerned about the health of Kirk Cousins coming back from that Achilles. But then why would you sign him to a contract like he did?
yeah. But that's the thing. Like, he'll probably start this year, but what if Penix beats out Kirk Cousins in like training camp? Like, what if he looks better? Kind of like the Russell Wilson thing, like 12 years ago. They pay Matt Flynn all that money, and Russ comes in and he just wins the job.
It's happened. It has happened.
Cameron Parker just put out a tweet. Have you guys seen The Office?
A little bit.
Yeah.
there's a scene where it was like you have to find the difference between two pictures and it's the same exact picture. I don't remember what the thing was. But anyways, the two quarterbacks being compared now are Bo Nix and Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, they're comparing Bo Nix to Brock Purdy?
Yep.
I like Purdy. I think he's a good QB, but I mean, how much is that really him and how much is it the system? That's the question.
Yeah, true.
If the Broncos wouldn't have drafted him at 12, if Bo Nix would have got drafted later in the first round, they probably wouldn't have comped him to Brock Purdy. I think just because they're like, oh, it was a big overreach. Well, it might have been, but if Sean Payton thinks he can win with him, he's going to do it.
Yeah. That's the important thing, what happens. You know? So, Matt, how many years do you give Bo Nix?
Say that one more time.
How many years do you give Bo Nix?
I mean, you got to give him at least 3. I mean, 4 essentially. But we'll probably know the rule of thumb with the rookie quarterback is by the end of year 3, you should already be talking about an extension. If not, you get stuck into this kind of Daniel Jones prove it extension. I mean, even on those prove it deals, now you still got to pay them.
Right. Oh, and just to let you know, Kirk Cousins, 4 years, $180 million, fully guaranteed.
Yeah,
so that even makes that pick even a little more odd. Because that's a contract you don't dump. You don't trade that guy. You know?
Like I said, what happened? What are you gonna do if Penix comes out and he's good? Like he starts balling out in training camp and preseason. What do you do then? You leave him sit on the bench for the next
I'm an owner and I'm paying somebody that much money. I'm not sitting him on the bench.
You can't.
That would just be horrible for the locker room.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, Michael Penix comes out and he's playing like, I'm not saying like Patrick Mahomes level, but he's playing just as good, if not maybe a little bit better than Kirk Cousins. Like, what do you do? Like, I know you're not going to bench Kirk Cousins, but it's like now you're going to leave Penix on the bench for the next 3 years.
Oh no. Well, look, where they selected him makes it sort of
it's a head scratcher,
because it's not like Jordan Love where you can say, well, look what the Packers did with Jordan Love. You know, they made him sit for as long, but he was picked in the 20s, not a number 8, you know? So, I mean, usually when you draft a quarterback top 10, he's your guy and he's coming in to take over. And so I'm just sort of baffled unless Kirk Cousins is maybe going to retire. You know, maybe the Achilles is not healing the way he wants, and
I was just thinking about
try to play a year or so and then retire. I don't know. It's just bizarre. I would have loved to be ready for
Maybe he's not going to be ready for preseason or training camp or anything.
Well, I would have loved.
Yeah, but that wouldn't justify a first-round quarterback, though.
I would have loved to have been in that war room to hear the conversations leading up to this. You know, I mean, who's their GM down there? Arthur Blank, right? Or
that's the owner.
That's the owner.
That's the owner.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's Terry Fontenot. That's who the GM is. It's Terry Fontenot.
Man, we all wanted Fontenot here.
Hey, he might. You know, who knows what they found? I mean, Penix definitely has value. Like I said, without the injury history.
It's just bizarre, though. It's just bizarre that you would, after you just signed a guy to a contract like that.
I mean, you also got to see, how many teams have been burned by these free agent quarterbacks so far.
I understand that, but why are you going to bring him in and fully guarantee the whole contract then?
I mean, At the
Like
end of
if
the day,
you're
it's
gonna do that,
guaranteed money.
if you're worried about Cousins not being able to start, it's like why don't you give him like maybe a 2-year deal worth like half of that?
Yeah,
Or maybe even
I'm
more.
gonna put in for Cousins' agent as the best agent of all time.
Yeah.
Well,
I
here's
mean,
the
at the
question.
same time, if you're Cousins, you
But
can't
that
be
guy's
mad.
got Cousins a lot of money.
Well, here's the question I have. Like, say he does play this season and Penix is ready to go in 2025, and Cousins is like, I'm going to retire. Like, how's that cap work? Like, they gave him the guaranteed money. I'm sure they got like an offset or something,
Well,
right?
I'm sure there's something in his contract if he retires or something, and that probably avoids some of that out. I'm not sure.
Fatanu to
There has to be
Steelers.
some language in there to protect the team.
There's Fatanu. Yep. Fatanu's
Where'd he
going to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Has Quentin Mitchell went off the board yet?
No,
No.
no corner has.
Jesus.
We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 defensive players, 3 edges, and 1
Defensive lineman.
defensive lineman.
But 20 picks, only 4. Dang, I mean 16 players went for the offense. Dang.
Yeah, you figure 7. Wow, this is heavy offense.
6 offensive linemen so far already.
Wow, 6
Plus as
offensive
many
linemen.
quarterbacks.
What do the Dolphins do here?
They did just
tackles-
lose. They did just lose Robert Hunt. This could be an
They need
interesting.
defensive line help too, though. I mean,
They did lose Christian
I'll be right
Wilkins.
back. I gotta go use the restroom real quick.
does Bradley Chubb possibly come back? You know, how's he going to be coming back from injury? Who's the other guy that got injured too?
Jalen Phillips.
You're right. So, I mean,
I'm not sure that there's an edge that I would take here.
no, the 3 top ones are off the board now. You'd be reaching, but they could use some interior defensive help too.
If I'm
Interior
looking
defense.
at it, this could be a Jackson Powers Johnson, the center out of Oregon.
Yeah,
This could be a Graham Barton, offensive tackle. So I mean, they could go there. I think if I had to put my money on a pick, though, I would say this would probably be Johnny Newton. I think that's the best fit right now.
out of Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think pick 22 is where we're going to maybe see our first cornerback come off the board
Yeah.
in Mitchell. I think Philadelphia is probably shocked that he's fallen to him.
Yeah. Nope. I absolutely agree. I think the other name you
there
could
was
watch
talking them
there.
trading up with Denver to get to 12 to get him.
I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, what could have also played a huge factor in this, and let's say with the Broncos and even with the Bo Nix, maybe there just wasn't the trade value there. Maybe nobody really wanted to move up and give up that 2nd round pick for, let's say, a Quinion Mitchell or someone, because as the draft went on, they just realized that, hey, the value is going to be there for us. We know these guys ain't going to take a corner. It could have been something like that as well that really hurt the value to potentially trade back. But as we get here, I'm surprised we haven't seen more receivers come off the board. I'm surprised that that Brian Thomas Jr. is still there. I'm surprised that A.D. Mitchell is still there. I don't think either one of these next couple picks we'll see one happen or coming off the board, which makes me nervous because we know that both Buffalo and Kansas City both need receivers. So that'll be an interesting thing to keep an eye on.
Miami might need one too. I mean, they got Tyreek and Jalen, but or they might take a corner or something. I don't know, because they lost a lot of players and they were heavily over the cap this year.
If I had to pick, I think this is going to be Johnny Newton or Jackson Powers.
For Miami.
Yeah. That would be. I mean, Graham Barton does have value here, but Do we see another tackle go right here, right now? No, I think it's gonna be Jackson Powers, Johnson, or Johnny Newton. That's my pick.
I think Quentin Mitchell will get taken right there at 22 by the Eagles because they
Yeah, that's
desperately
what.
need secondary help.
Well, whoever their number one corner is who it's gonna be. I'm almost positive because it's as much as Howie Roseman loves hog mollies and defensive line. They need a corner desperately, and there's not really a defensive lineman of value right there right now. Eagles could be another surprise team with Jackson Powers Johnson. They did just lose Kelsey. Just plug and play center right away.
Yeah.
That is true.
If Jackson Powers falls these next 3 picks,
He's
I
going
don't
to
think
Dallas.
I have no idea how Dallas passes on him.
I don't either. I was watching something earlier today that talked about Dallas was really high on him.
Bo Nix, only 5 turnover-worthy plays in 2023, fewest among all quarterbacks.
I bet you Zach Wilson had more than that in one game.
Oh yeah.
So there you go, Jody.
So I'm calling it now. I think it's going to be the 2 quarterbacks on the roster, Bo Nix and Zach Wilson. I think Stidham's gone.
Yeah, you keep DiNucci around as your 3. You
So that
don't want.
means. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say you don't want to pay Stidham the money, to be your third string guy, unless Zach Wilson just really stinks. I think you have a competition between Zach Wilson and Jarrett Stidham, and whoever wins is going to be your backup.
Yeah,
And then
well,
DiNucci will be your third stringer.
In a hypothetical here, does anyone move up to try to get the 5th-year option with Rattler?
Say that again?
Does anyone consider trading up to get the 5th-year option with Rattler?
who's left on the clock? Because you had to get them in the first round to get that 5th-year option.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could be looking at, does New Orleans maybe want to come up? Does the Giants maybe want to come up? Could so right now I'd say Raiders, Saints, and Giants would be the most likely to come up.
Please don't let it be the Raiders. I'd say probably – I don't know. I'm torn between the Giants and the Saints because that's a good pick. I'd say probably if I had to choose, I'd say probably the Giants. I think – I understand the Saints ain't happy with Derek Carr, but, he's still a solid quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not confident that it would happen, but it'd be interesting to see the pressure of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I would say those 3 teams that you said, Matt, if anybody, but I just don't see anybody reaching that far on Rattler just for a 5th-year option. Yeah, because are you going to get Oklahoma Rattler? Or are you going to get South Carolina Rattler, where they say that receiver really made him? What was that receiver's name?
Say that question one more time.
South Carolina.
Oh, Leggett.
Yeah. Chop Robinson, edge from Penn State, goes to the Dolphins.
Hey.
There you go.
That's a little high for me. It's a little high for me.
I know, but I think it's a pick because they're not sure how Chubbs and Phillips are going to be when they come back.
I get that. I like the other guy. I actually like the other edge out of Penn State a little bit more than Chop Robinson and Isaac.
Edge players are another position that I think sometimes gets overdrafted.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
That may be your most important spot on defense. Somebody who can put pressure on a quarterback. And that's something we sorely miss here in Denver.
Is there any player right now that you're kind of surprised has slid?
This far?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Quinion Mitchell is still on the board.
Yeah, that's mine as well.
There was a lot of mock drafts, even having him go top 10.
Right.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's like pick 22 now, Like, I think this is where he'll get taken
And
in by
is
Philadelphia.
it he's sliding or just things falling the way they are, you know? And teams are just sitting there saying, "Well, heck, he's just falling right down to us." So, you know, I would be shocked if he goes past here. If he goes past the Eagles here, there must be something that teams know about this guy.
There's only one other thing I can think of is that maybe teams don't value the cornerback position that much.
I'm going to go to the same thing I said before we came on air. Cornerbacks do not win you championships. You know.
That's why I said I wouldn't have been surprised if they thought one of those top guys was it, and they were to trade Patrick Surtain. Like I'd hate it. Like I wouldn't love it at all, but I'd understand it because it's like you said, cornerbacks don't win you championships. Quarterbacks do.
Right. You know, these teams down in this area are taking a lot of time.
Yeah, because I mean the board is kind of took in a turn. I mean, with the amount of offensive talent that came off so early and so consistently,
Right.
I think it's put some of these other teams in a little bit more of a difficult position. I think they've had to kind of take outside of what they possibly wanted. And
Yeah,
I think it's going to get tighter as we go along because the offensive talent's just kind of drying up right now. Like
Right.
if we look at the board, we don't really have a quarterback left with the first round grade.
No.
We have 2 receivers with the first round grade technically. I mean, PFF got Lad McConkey and Troy Franklin both as first round grades, but
yeah, they're
I'm not confident. Yeah, tight end, there's nobody. Running backs, nobody. Tackle, there's only one left with the first round grade. Interior offensive lineman, there's only one. It's really now just kind of fallen into the defense, but a lot of those primo positions have already kind of been sucked up on this defensive run. You're kind of going to be stuck with this cornerback kind of run here. But the thing is, you look at these teams, not very many of them you would argue would maybe need that corner. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all kind of plays out.
It's crazy. I still can't
offensive-
believe they didn't take Bowers at 11.
I know that my mock draft was horrendously wrong.
Hey, the good thing is though now is that all the speculation's over with. Like, you know, I'm happy, man. Like after about like starting the beginning of April, man, I get sick of the mock drafts. I'm just like, okay, can we just get to the draft already?
This got to be Quinion Mitchell, right? Or Terrion Arnold. It's got to be one or the other. It's got to be.
I got to start on my 2025 mock draft.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do it.
No.
I guess the other thing that we kind of think about here is what would we consider maybe the biggest surprise of the draft so far?
Atlanta.
Okay,
Atlanta.
that's fair. That's definitely fair.
Yeah.
Okay, non-quarterback surprise.
The Jets not taking Brock Bowers at 11.
I'm gonna say non-quarterback surprise. I'm gonna go with the Colts going with Latua at 15.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a shocker because the
I don't think
whole word
that-
was, they wanted a receiver. I think the biggest shock for me was kind of the lack of movement, the lack of excitement, and people really being locked in.
Right.
Really wanted at the beginning
Yeah, I
of the
mean,
draft.
because the line was set at 5.5 on trades, and we've
Yeah,
had
and
what
2, I
one,
think 2.
2.
Jaguars
Vikings-
and Vikings, and Vikings were involved in both.
Right.
What's crazy is I think the Vikings only have like 3 picks next year,
Yeah.
first and 2 fifths.
Oh wow.
It is incredibly.
Well, I can see why they're trading back then. They need to stock up this year because they're not going to have much next year.
Did they?
They gave
acquire
up
any
next
picks
year to move up to 17.
Oh,
Remember
okay.
that they gave up to move up.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm following you now.
Yeah, so
maybe
I'm
they can
not
take that
sure.
first round pick next year and trade back and get more picks for next year.
This pick is taking a minute for sure.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what the Eagles are doing here.
This could be the spot, not the Eagles per se specifically, but this could be where we're starting to see teams like Buffalo, maybe Baltimore, Kansas City start to jostle a little
Yeah.
bit, see if they can move
Buffalo
up.
needs to get up there and get a receiver.
Yeah, they need to get something.
After both Davis and Diggs are gone, so they need somebody.
Man, look at that Dolphins defense. Wow. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Chop Robinson, Jalen Ramsey, and Javon Holland. Whew.
They've gone defensive heavy for sure the last couple of years in free agency and in the draft. Man, it's getting a little dry right here. What you doing, Philly?
What do you guys? If Bo Nix starts the season, what do you guys think his stats will be by the end of the year?
I wouldn't say they're going to be anything crazy. I think they'll be pretty middle of the road. I don't think we're going to find let's be honest. I don't think we found the next unicorn. I think we found the next capable, serviceable starter. Now, we'll see what that turns into.
Ryan Edwards just retweeted a tweet that says Sean Payton loves a quarterback who has elite processing ability and great accuracy. Bo Nix brings that skill set to the table. And that
Absolutely.
is true. And that's what he went for, and that's what he'll bring over a Zach Wilson or even a Russell Wilson,
Yeah, and there was a tweet earlier that said Sean Payton hasn't loved a quarterback as much as Bo Nix since Patrick Mahomes. That's saying something, but that is also coach talk. You got to hype your player up. So
right.
If Bo Nix isn't starting week 1, is that justified? But I mean, I guess we could sit here. Could we argue, play devil's advocate, even though I'm totally against it? We did see Patrick Mahomes sit for a while behind Alex Smith.
That's true. We did. Sat almost the whole year.
But I mean, at the same time, Alex Smith is a qualified veteran that I would say would have a good mentorship ability.
Right.
I mean, how many starts do we have across Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson, and Ben DiNucci? I gotta say it's probably less than 20 to 25.
Quinion Mitchell to the Eagles.
Yeah, that's why you gotta pray that Sean Payton.
There we go.
Sean Payton's gonna teach
finally off the board.
Back.
Yeah, Quinion Mitchell 22 here, perfect pick for them. They got the info. They had the intel. They knew they wouldn't have to move up, so they probably got their top guy on the board right here.
So what do you see Jacksonville doing here, Matt?
Jacksonville, they could go. This could be another corner. I was going to lean more towards edge earlier. However, I don't think there's an edge rusher that's worth the value here. So I think we start to see the run on corners here. I think this is probably Terrion Arnold. That's my guess.
Right, hey
I wouldn't
guys,
be shocked to see him go.
Take off for the night.
All right, Eddie.
That's all right. We'll be here, man.
Thanks for joining us.
What's up?
Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Hope we can do it again. I had a blast, man, especially since my guy got taken.
Yep, we'll be on tomorrow. So.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
We'll see you later. And then there were two. I'm just kidding.
Yep.
The original two. Just kidding.
That's right.
Graham, a little backstory, man. Back in the day, we used to cover this thing start to finish. From the moment it came on to the last pick of the draft.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Draft. What was it? The very first weekend we did, it was 15 hours in total or something. It was insane.
It was crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Now, I don't know if my wife will let me do 15 hours these days. I may go missing if I do that these
My
days.
wife gave me clearance because she's going to hang out with her friends. So
Oh, you see, you're lucky. See,
but I might be on here by myself. I can't do this by myself. I may have to ask Jody to come on or something.
hey, Jody, you're welcome anytime. Maybe. As long as you don't talk about Russell Wilson, you're welcome
Yep.
anytime.
Russell Wilson's off limits at CSC, but if you want Jody, you can come on the Broncos with us.
We've moved on.
I gotta get my jerseys hung up.
It's been crazy, crazy, crazy.
Man, these picks are just dragging too.
Quinion
Yeah.
Mitchell pick just showing up on my TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too. It's like, come on, what are you guys doing over there at the NFL Network? Aren't you guys the flagship channel?
I mean, as we sit here and we think about what this draft looks like, I think we're going to start to see this kind of really, like we said, drag on a little bit. I think
Yeah.
we're at the point because the offensive talent has been depleted, and this was a really heavy offensive draft. Because I mean, how many defensive picks have we had out of 22?
I think
1,
7
2,
or 5,
3,
maybe.
4, 5, 6. 6 out of 22. That is insanity.
Well, and there's some receivers that are still sitting on the board that I'm sort of shocked at right now.
I think we're kind of stuck in this position where like we look at Jacksonville. Could they use a receiver? Maybe, probably not. Dallas could be a position for a receiver, but once again, I think they're going to focus more on offensive line. Packers probably offensive line. Buccaneers back that day, man, what they're needing is a little tight. They're probably going to look at a cornerback.
Really, the first one that really needs one is Buffalo. Buffalo, Baltimore, and Kansas City.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 that really need them now. Which I'm surprised that you don't have some people jostling around trying to get up. Unless these teams really just don't value any of these receivers left on the board as first-round grades.
I think part of it is that there's just not the pressure from the teams above them to really move up and get them.
That's true.
Like I said, don't think Jacksonville's going to take a receiver. I don't think Dallas will take a receiver. Don't think Green Bay will take a receiver. Tampa Bay doesn't need a receiver. Arizona technically already took a receiver. Could they double down? Anything's possible, but I don't see them doing that. So it really comes down to Buffalo kind of being able to just kind of control this board right here. The board just has not really been friendly to these teams picking in the back half. And as we kind of turn our focus back towards Denver, we look at it as could the market maybe not have been there, but at the same time, with the plethora of it was maybe the value of trading back kind of with the intel, what it is, would they have been able to get the guy that they really wanted had they traded, let's say, with Philadelphia or with Pittsburgh? Maybe they just didn't feel that value was going to be there, and they felt that maybe the Bo Nix impact would trump whatever they would get at one of those later picks.
Jacksonville takes Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, look at that, just to be different.
Right.
Okay, now we may see a team start to panic. I mean, while it's not listed as one of their immediate needs, they did lose Calvin Ridley this year. So, I mean, that definitely is a similar body type, similar type player. So, that's interesting.
You told your coaches you wanted to be coached hard. Now you're Toledo's first round pick in 30 years. What did that university
Big receiver, 6'4", 205.
That's your favorite, one of your favorite receivers in the class.
He is. He's my Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. So 80 Mitchell's really the only one. I've been hearing that Franklin was sliding. The other receiver that it's kind of he's ranked a little bit more towards second round right now is Roman Wilson. He's been rumored to be kind of climbing up the boards, while Troy Franklin has been rumored to be sliding down the boards. So that could be something that we keep an eye on there. Dallas.
And I've seen Leggett from South Carolina.
He's came up a little bit. Yeah.
At the end of the first round. So Kansas City is going to be desperate for receiver help, especially they really have nobody now. I mean, Rashee Rice, how long is he going to be suspended? You know,
the name that I would keep an eye on for the Kansas City Chiefs is actually gonna be Xavier Worthy, the other Texas wide receiver. Yeah. He has a lower second round grade on him, but we know how much they value speed. We know how much Andy Reid has valued speed at the receiver position. They haven't been as explosive since they've lost that Tyreek Hill type presence. Xavier Worthy has the speed and route running ability to possibly provide that ability for sure. So that could be a name for a receiver that we see kind of sneak back up in here.
Luke McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Maybe.
McCaffrey's going to be probably a day 3 guy, in my opinion.
Dallas
are you talking McConkey?
No, I'm just saying McCaffrey in general. Not early.
Okay, yeah.
Think Dallas could shock the world and take a running back here?
I don't see it happening. I just don't think that there's a back that you feel like I look at him and I feel like, dang, that guy's a difference maker. For here, I think I think this has got to be Jackson Powers Johnson. It just makes too much sense. Protect your assets. You got Dak. You don't really know what's going on with him. Impending free agency next year. They haven't got the contract worked out. Protect him. I guess the other position that you could kind of look at is with Diggs coming back from the injury. Is this maybe a Terry and Arnold to kind of give you something else to lock down because he's got the best grade, what's left on your board?
Is that a trade back maybe?
I don't see it.
I mean, do they need to start thinking about a quarterback to replace Dak?
I would lean more on the side of no. I think they'll ultimately come together with Dak. I think it'll come to a healthy resolution. Nothing over here. Let's take a peek at this Laker game over here. Oh, Jesus. Lakers 37, Nuggets 25. 27 now. Hey, they've overcome a 12 point.
Yeah, we overcame a 20 point
every time. That's what I'm saying. They've overcome 12 plus points in each game.
Yep.
To regain the lead several times. So I'm not holding my breath on it. You weren't here for the question earlier. Do you think this is going to be a sweep or a gentleman's sweep, or are they going to make it?
It's gentleman's sweep. It's going 5.
You think it's going to go 5? That's what we both said when we first put our prediction when it came to the Nuggets.
I could see us actually losing tonight, winning 4, and then winning 5.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely possible.
If we win tonight, it's a sweep. It's a sweep because we'll just morally crush the Lakers, especially if we're down by double digits and come back and win again. They're just going to start saying we can't beat these guys. Plus LeBron played the media, to get into the refs' heads.
A little bit.
It's like, dude, how are you guys going to complain when you have a free throw differential of over 500 during the regular season? And the next closest team is like less than 300 differential. It's like you guys get every call, in the book. So why are you crying about it?
Nothing exciting here yet. Where's Jerry Murr's been quiet for a little bit.
Oh, he
Think you
said he
saw-
was going to watch the Nuggets.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, he might be back though. I don't know who's watching right now. Who's out there watching? Give us a hello. Oh, they're watching
where's
on
the
Twitch.
comments at?
They're watching on
A
Twitch.
lot,
They can't talk
a
to
lot,
us.
yeah. Fair point. And a lot of the time, what's gonna happen?
We don't get Twitch comments.
No, I don't think we get. Only comments we get in here are Facebook and YouTube. I don't think we get Twitch comments. I don't know. Hey, Twitch watcher, if you can comment, see if we can.
Graham, are you the Twitch watcher?
I'm not.
I'm giving you trouble.
Graham, go on the Twitch and watch. And see if you can message us.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got going on here. But Cowboys, where are you locking in at? Where's she going with, Dave?
They're gonna go Powers. I think they need that interior offensive line help.
I agree. I think it's got to be Powers.
That just has to be your best player available right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's got to be. And then as soon as we say that, they'll pick somebody else.
Right. Well, the same way Jacksonville did.
Let's see.
Yeah, the Twitch is a bunch of bots.
Is that
Oh,
what it is?
man, we got the bots watching us.
Why did you go in there and look at them?
Yeah. Twitch always has a lot of bots, unfortunately.
Let's see what the Bo Nix hype is. Bo Nix is Robert Griffin III saying Nix is a type of player and decision maker Sean Payton will crave. A guy with his ability can be molded by him and has some detractors. Bo Nix's 45 touchdowns and 3 interceptions make it in the very strong Pac-12 last year. Show us he is the elite level decision maker and sees the field like his coach.
Huh.
The overall narrative around Bo Nix has been definitely a surprising positive. We had Sean Payton came on the Pat McAfee show a few moments ago, and he's a private workout about Bo Nix to Bill Belichick. He said it was impressive. I just remember we got in the car afterwards, and I just looked around and I said, "Are you kidding me?" So it does sound like Sean Payton, is truly high on this kid, and we're gonna see what's going on, man.
Yep.
Cowboys trade with the Lions. Lions
Oh
trading
my
up.
gosh, come on, man.
Dragon.
Man, if he keeps going this slow, I'm signing off and going to bed, man.
The Cowboys trade the number 24 pick. The Lions are on the clock, and the crowd goes wild. So now my question is, who is this pick? Who are they moving up for? Did they want to get? Yeah, in my opinion, I think it has to be corner. Is this a Jackson Powers Johnson? Could this be Jackson Powers Johnson? They did lose some interior offensive linemen in the
Terry and Arnold.
agency. Yeah, it's Terry and Arnold.
Yep. Pick is in. Packers
Yeah, that
are on
makes-
the clock. Packers needs are tackle, guard, center, interior defensive line, and safety. The kid from Minnesota maybe here. What's his name?
From Minnesota.
Tyler Nubin, safety.
I think they would take Cooper DeJean over Nubin.
Cooper DeJean is a corner though.
He plays both. He can be converted.
Yeah, well, he might want to be.
I think
I've read some bad things about that dude.
I think he's a better safety than he's his corner.
That's what I've read too. So
I think he'll be a better safety.
Well, we got 8 picks left, and if they all take 10 minutes, that's 80 more minutes. That's till 10:30 at night.
11:30 for me.
Yeah. So
9 o'clock. Hurry up. I'll close it out. I'm just kidding. I'll
so
sit here and cry. I'm still really upset. I'm going to be honest with you. I am upset that Brock Bowers is a Las Vegas Raider. It's got me overly concerned.
I remember when that Mayer tight end went to the Raiders. People were very upset about that.
And Mayer's a hell of a tight end.
Yep.
And Mayer is a hell of a tight end. They got a really good tight end room. Let's see, where are we going? Packers. I'm thinking the Packers, with the surprise trade from the Cowboys trading back a few picks. Oh, hey, I wonder what this compensation is. As I look here, I still see the Lions at pick 29. What was the trade? Okay, they trade 24 and a 7th rounder in 2025 to the Lions for 29 and 73. Okay, so that
7th rounder. Wow.
Yeah. So wait,
Yeah.
hold on, let me trade 24 and a 7th rounder in 2025 to the Lions. So the Lions traded the 29th and 73 to move up. So 1st and a 3rd for 24 and a 7th next year. So it was a good trade for the Cowboys in terms of value to get up. You picked up that extra 3rd round pick. Just going through the best available left on the board. Cooper DeJean is the number 1 right now, who PFF has rated as the number 1 corner, and he's still on the board. They got Johnny Newton, who's rated as the first defensive lineman, still on the board. They got A.D. Mitchell, who's ranked the 4th wide receiver. Graham Barton's on the board. So I think right here the Packers go Barton.
I heard a notification over there.
Yeah.
Was it? It wasn't anything
No.
like that we didn't know.
Nothing exciting.
Okay. Let's see. Come on.
Man, these last few picks are dragging.
So much. Let's see.
I'm curious. This has got to be a tackle here. Now the question is, who do they have rated the highest on their board right now? There's 3 guys that kind of all have a similar grade, and that's Barton, Morgan, and Guyton out of Oklahoma. There was some rumors that the kid out of BYU could possibly come up. Patrick Paul was getting another one who was considered to be a early or a late riser. So that definitely could be something.
Nuggets are coming back. Only down by 7 now.
I saw that. What are you thinking, Dave? After this Packers pick, we go watch the Nuggets get ready to get this series 3-0 after the Packers pick?
Yeah, we can sign off, and then we'll make a decision on whether we're going to do coverage, tomorrow and Saturday. I mean, the viewership's been pretty, after the Broncos pick at 12 and we don't have a 2nd round pick.
We might be here for a little bit.
Right. So we may just not have coverage. We'll just post on our group page, Broncos picks and stuff like that. But hey, we do thank whoever came out and joined us. We know it's a long show.
Wow. Jordan Morgan, tackle, Arizona, hops.
Did not see that.
Up. I felt there was a tackle. I was just telling Graham it could have been one of these three. I was more confident that it was going to be Barton,
Right.
but the Packers decide to go with Morgan out of Arizona. Real quick before you go, Dave, let's do a rapid fire maybe of our final few picks real quick for the end of the first round, and then we'll give these guys what they want, and that's going to go watch the Nuggets because they're on. That's probably where all the people are right now.
Okay.
All right, we got Buccaneers right now on the clock. Who you got?
Man. I can see Powers going here now. I mean, we keep saying this every time, but why is Powers sliding?
He's
You
a
know?
center. It's not a sexy pick. He's a center. It's not a
Right.
sexy pick.
But I could see him going here.
They did
Arizona.
They did just lose. Yeah.
Arizona
Jensen.
27. I could see maybe Kool-Aid going here, or Cooper DeJean or Dijon.
Okay. Okay.
Buffalo, they have to go wide receiver. There has to
Yep.
be the one of the kids from Texas.
Okay.
Dallas, if Tampa Bay does not take Powers, and I don't see how Powers slides past Dallas. So Ravens, I'm thinking probably a receiver. San Francisco, I think I just see them going with the probably the best interior offensive lineman on the board at the time, and then Kansas City going receiver. So maybe the speed guy out of Texas, as you were talking. What's your picks?
Yeah, I'm gonna go rapid fire here. I'm gonna give you the names. I'm gonna go Buccaneers are gonna probably go. If I had to put a guess, I think they are gonna probably take Nate Wiggins here out at the cornerback.
See, I keep forgetting about him.
I think Wiggins goes here. I think for Arizona, I see them going with probably Kool-Aid McKinstry. I could see if he slides back up. We've had a good run on corners. Once we get to Buffalo, I think that's A.D. Mitchell, Jackson Powers to the Cowboys. I'm going to go Roman Wilson, though, to the Ravens. And then I think the 49ers are going to take the best player on the board for them. And at this point, I think that's going to end up being Graham Barton out of Duke. And then Ladd McConkey going to the Chiefs.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us, Matt. Graham, thanks for being in the background. We really appreciate it. Appreciate everything you do for us. Like I said, we'll post tomorrow if we're going to have coverage. It's probably unlikely. Tomorrow we got Avalanche hockey on, so that will interfere with draft coverage too, especially if the Broncos don't have a pick until mid to late third round. So I'm not sure where they're picking in the third. So
76.
Yeah, so it would be a while where they pick.
Yeah, I think we'll hop on for a little bit.
Yeah, we'll keep things posted on our Facebook group page. So just check there for updates on the Broncos. Again, thanks. We got a quarterback, so let's win some football games now, guys.
I'm all game for it. Let's go Bo Nix. Let's go Broncos and see where we end up.
All right. Thanks. Good night, guys.
See you later.